I hope you didn't miss us too much. We're finally back. Day 2 of the Fractal Cup in EVIO. My name is Keg, and I'm joined by Jim Basco here, and we have a heck of a time because we're in the top 8 now to see who the best of the best can be and to see who the champion of EVIO's one of their first tournaments ever could be.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a stacked day of competition, and I know I said that a lot yesterday, but we've heard some rumors of some destroyers lurking in this top 8 bracket, which we haven't even run into once all day yesterday. So new faces that have been completely ripping up the competition, and of course you saw yesterday the level of competition grew exponentially between each of the rounds that we went to, all the way to the top 8, which culminates today. Keg, it's going to be nuts.
Now, you're probably wondering, too, if you're just tuning in today, what the heck the Fractal Cup is. So the Fractal Cup is brought to you by Fractal.is. Fractal is a marketplace for gaming NFTs, which are durable assets that let you have something inside of the gaming universe. Now, Fractal's mission is to create an open platform for the free exchange of digital goods. They do this by partnering with the best in the gaming companies for launching NFTs and building tools that help them reach their customers at scale. So you might see some weird skins in game that don't look like anybody else's, and that's because you can buy them as your very own NFT.
You'll love to see it. And of course, EV.io, the game itself, is browser-based, it's free to play, and it's a play-to-earn first-person shooter featuring over 15 different maps, 20 different weapons, 5 game modes, and tight gunplay. So what makes it unique, too, is that every time you get a kill, you actually get some Solana. So you can head over to EV.io right now to start playing, or you can stay tuned in with Keg and I, because we've got the top 8 of this $10,000 tournament about to get underway. Keg, I'm scared. We heard some rumors of a team going 50-11 being their worst score yesterday.
You know, Jim, I'm always scared, but I'm even more scared today. You're absolutely right. Censored versus Xborg will be an interesting matchup between both teams, and Censored's the ones that we're really going to be focused about. We actually got some notes in between days yesterday about the play style of their team as well. They have a full setup squad. Everyone has their roles and exactly what they need to do, and as far as I can tell, Jim, I don't think any other team in the tournament has that kind of structure.
Yeah, we saw a couple of different, metas, if you want to call it that, evolve yesterday. Yeah. A lot of people with sheriffs and deagles in hand taking these long-range battles, but as far as we've heard so far, this 15-11 team deathmatch squad is aggressive. They were going quick, they were going fast, flying through the air, and they've got setups as well. So I'm ready to watch them get underway in their match. I think we are just getting the players locked and loaded into the lobby as we speak. But if you're ever a fan of a title like Halo, of a title like Overwatch or like Quake, any of those arena FPS type shooters, then EVIO is where you want to be. It combines all the fast movement and precision aim play of those titles and puts it into one chaotic but really fun mess. And pace is really the name of the game, right? We saw it go faster and faster throughout the day yesterday, Keg, and at some point it was almost impossible to keep up with what these teams were doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We were just dumbfounded sometimes by some of the crazy plays coming out from a lot of different people. And I mean, Jim, you and I, we cast a bunch of different games too. We're not usually here on EVIO, but we the momentum is something that we love to cover a lot in the show, like how the momentum of a team can overpower and sometimes dominate another. But my God, the pacing that we've seen yesterday, especially the mobility in the air from the impulse grenades, it was something that we had never really even seen before in other games.
Yeah, it's so good to watch, and of course it can get overwhelming, but just leave it to Keg and I to break it down what's going on in real time. Yeah, we'll do our best, of course. They're going to be showing us some new tech that we haven't seen at all, really, either. I know yesterday we were watching some really high impulse nades with people following on the ground with their teleports and blinks to try and cover that gap and get to where their teammate was. Not sure if we're going to see anything as crazy today, but, if the rumors have it, then I think we might be in for a treat, Keg. With that said, I think we do have our match pretty much ready to go, if I heard that correctly. Looks like we're waiting on 2 more players. Yeah.
But you know what? All those crazy movements that we had seen yesterday, Jim, almost all of those teams passed on into day 2, so that means we're probably going to see the return of them again. And now that there might be a little bit more strategizing coming through against better teams, those movements could be even better this time. Some people went so high up in the air, it looked like they were going to break the boundaries of the map, and they almost did, and it almost worked on top of that, too, to be a great play.
Yeah, it was good to watch, and of course, the format today is a little bit different than it was yesterday. We were running all the way up to the top 8 yesterday in a single elim best-of-3 format. Today, it'll be a little different. It'll still be best-of-3, but it'll be double elim all the way up until the grand finals themselves, which will be a best-of-5. And of course, this is all for their share of $10,000 freaking dollars. So that's a lot of money for the very first EV.io Fractal Cup. That's a lot of hype for this title, man.
Oh yeah, there's so much hype. And besides too, even in the best of 3s before the best of 5 grand finals, right? There's still a chance we could see 4 or 5 matches like we'd seen yesterday. So if the teams do tie at the very end, it doesn't go towards either team. We learned this the hard way yesterday when there was 2 ties in a row for a single series. And so that means we could technically have an endless best of, I guess, X series, but that requires both teams to tie. And if we had seen it yesterday before the double elimination comes by, I guarantee you, Jim, we're going to see that at least once today.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, thank you all for tuning in on the Twitch stream itself. We appreciate the support. And if you're in the Twitch stream, type in ! giveaway in the Twitch chat, right? We're doing giveaways for whitelist, and I actually do believe we have a graphic for that. Let's get that on the screen. Boom! Bang! There it is. Beautiful. Yeah, the official mint happens on May 11th, so all you need, according to the graphic, it's a whitelist token and Solana. So you can head over to fractal.is/EV to get the mint. And of course, the way the game works is once you equip your NFT skins, and you actually earn Solana for every kill and achievement in the game. So the better you are, the more you're going to earn, right? Incentivize your gameplay. So this is really exciting and really unique, and EV.io is doing an awesome job of presenting us an action FPS that is kind of unlike anything we've seen in recent history, Keg.
And Solana's expensive too, right, Jim? I mean, one Solana that you could potentially get from the whitelist token, that's like, I don't know, we need our cryptologists in chat right now, but it's like $70 a token. Yeah, it's great value as well. So make sure if you're into that sort of thing, you hop onto EV.io, get dueling, get in some death matches, and start earning. So definitely great incentive for the players here. And it looks like we do have the match ready to roll. This is our top 8 of the Fractal Cup EVIO tournament, man. I'm excited for this. And yeah, so the team on the side here, Censored, is the squad we've been told to watch out for because their worst loss in all of yesterday's matches was 50-11, as we mentioned earlier, Keg. So I'm excited to see how they play against Xborg. Yeah, everyone's been hyping them up so much. I'm excited to see what can happen this time. Now, keep an eye on this big, gigantic gun in the hands of Niz, and this could one-tap a lot of people regardless of the distance.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. Perfect example. Okay, Nizen, thank you so much. That's one to go down immediately, and that space is being created quite a bit by the smoke grenades, but back and forth again. Crunk tries to find some action, but he's not able to do so too much, Jim. Xborg, though, they're sticking together, but it's only working out a little bit. All things considered, if you look at the kill feed, it looks even, but Censored, they're ahead by 6 kills.
Yeah, already ahead by 6 kills, and Xborg is generally, they're used to being in the lead. I haven't really seen them at this large of a deficit in quite some time, and Censored making it look kind of easy, right? Just taking these long-range fights, and Crunk opening things up with 3 kills with that Deagle there, and that is the danger of that weapon. We've seen it time and time again. That's a lot of mines to deny that area, but Censored already at 14-4. They've got a 11 kill lead.
Yeah, and Censored, though, they're not doing anything spectacular visually, right, to get all these kills either. They're not really going for a lot of momentum. They're not really going for those big macro-like plays that we had seen yesterday. They're just punking out. They're just out-aiming Xborg, at least at the moment. But Xborg, huddling so close together, they're finding themselves in situations where not only do they go down, but a teammate does as well. And Crunk, perfect example, 2 of the 3 of Xborg had gone down to the hands of him and was only traded out by Paradox at the very end. And situations like that does allow you to have that 12 kill lead.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Censored, they really like to get into the fray, and then they have their guy Crunk on that marksman, on that Deagle, just doing so much damage. And of course, Nizen picking up 2, finds 3rd with that laser rifle, just nuts, and now getting back into the fray. Paradox wants to avenge his teammates, but it's not going to be enough. Censored at 23-9 over Xborg. They are looking strong.
Absolutely looking strong, but in the air, no clay pigeons today, it seems. Once the duck hits the ground, though, it's going to be one to go down in the hands of Crunk. But that being said, though, everyone at Xborg is separating out quite a bit. They're looking around to find those potential openings. Crunk by himself again, good for 1. Tries to find a second, but Wacko gets that trade instead. Now, we do see more of Censored banding together. They're going high up in the air. Those are some of the impulse grenade plays we talked about before we started the game. But Meza is down below, trying to catch them off guard on the rotate, but it doesn't work. You're going up against Censored, and they're dominating so far. At halftime now, they only need 20 more kills to make this first match theirs.
Yeah, ridiculous pace coming out from Censored. It's not what we've seen from other teams where they try to reset, go for these team fights. Censored just keeps going in over and over and over again, and they come out on top because this fray is exactly what they're used to, with Nizen at the distance using that laser rifle to such great advantage, finding 2 and Xenocidal finding the 3rd there. Censored at 35 to Xborg's 14. They are looking so strong right now, and there it is again. Laser rifle from a distance, just peppering down the enemy, and then having the rest of your teammates close that gap and find those frags is essential to their team play here, and Censored are so good, taking their way up to 40 kills on the board.
See, I'm glad that you mentioned the resets, because we see X4 going for these resets every time there's a squad wipe, and because of that reset, it allows time for Censored to push up and get this, get another squad wipe. So X4, they're finding themselves in a situation where they can't really find proper positioning. Now Crunk is with the rest of the team. They're going in for those team-wide plays once again, but Crunk, instead, he's going to go on his own journey, looking around to see if there's any stranglers behind for the rest of X4. Wacko good for the double kill. Is going to leave Crunk to be the last alive, at least before the respawn. Xenocidal, though, far from behind. No real action just yet, but up above, Wacko has been such a great fragger so far for X4, but he gets one before the trade.
Yeah, I was a little scared, picked up the rocket launcher, didn't find anything for his woes, but Crunk again, 3K with that deagle. Xenocidal finds the 4th, and Paradox returns with 1, but Censored are only 4 kills off of taking this first map of this best-of-3 series, man. It is kind of ridiculous, the pace at which Censored is just able to keep it up, but you mentioned it, right? Instead of going for those resets, they just keep going for the fights and looking for one more there, and finds it across the map. Xenocidal finds 50 there. 22 and 9. Crunk ends that one. 16 and 6, 12 and 6. The lowest KD on their team being a flat 2.0. Censored dominating in this first map.
Really, really nice to see. Xborg, though, at least they give Censored at least a little bit more of a run for their money, right? Yesterday, the scoreline that was said for Censored was going 50-11 against a team, but at least this time, Xborg went 21, so they doubled those amounts. That means for Censored, this might only get more difficult for them from here, but they could be good for the clean 2-0 to start off the series today.
Absolutely, yeah, you mentioned it. 50 and 11 was their worst score yesterday. So 10 on top of that. Okay, Xborg feels pretty good. So hopefully, you know, going into this next one, they'll be able to, like, come up with a different game strategy or something, revitalize their team's life at this point, because they need to try and win this second map if they want to take it to a third and have a chance of still competing. Now, of course, it is a little different than yesterday. It's not a single elim. We got double elim. So even if they do head out of this match, you know, with their tail between their legs and heads down, maybe they'll make a miracle run in that losers bracket. Anything is possible, Keg. And of course, you know, we would love the storyline if it does happen. But of course, right now, Censored making it look like it might be a quick 2-0. It's kind of scary.
I mean, if it's a quick 2-0, right, and Censored as positioned as they have, it's been said that they have been, they could very well be in the grand finals. That means, though, that Xborg will have to worry about them for a long time. So that miracle run in the lower bracket could certainly happen. But again, Censored, all eyes are on them right now. We've been told they're the ones to look out for, and so far they've done a fantastic job. But again, Jim, they didn't do anything fancy in that first game. They
no,
just
nothing
fragged
crazy.
Out and found better, higher elevated positions over Xborg.
Yeah, absolutely. It just seemed like overall their mechanics, their fundamentals across the board, Censored was just better. Like you said, they didn't even bother waiting to play as a team. Like, as soon as they died, you just saw them flying in, finding these kills. Crunk was in the middle of 3 of them, finding 3 more. If they can do that, why not? Have fun,
exactly.
While out. But with that said, we are still getting the players into the lobby, so I'm excited. I just have this sort of weird, nervous excitement to see what Xborg are going to pull out, right? Do they have an answer to Censored, or are they just going to crumble under the pressure? It's a little scary.
Well, I think the big answer here for Xborg will be in the hands of Wacko. Wacko was fantastic that first game too. I saw him on the kill feed more than anybody else at Xborg. And if Wacko can keep this momentum going, hopefully then maybe we can see the other members of Xborg kind of pick up their slack a little bit more, and depending on their roles, maybe help out and reinforce and allow Wacko to be set up to go for even more kills than before. That could be a good way to leverage the odds a teeny tiny bit. Again, Xborg have been the best so far against Censored in this entire tournament, but they haven't even been able to hit this half amount of kills they need to succeed. So maybe at least now we could see a closer game if Wacko has a better setup from the rest of his team, and maybe we could see a 50-30 scoreline maybe, or this could be the upset chance to maybe bring this to a 1-1 scoreline.
It really could be, and it's anybody's game, right? If we learned anything from yesterday's matches and those comebacks that we saw in our very final round of 16 match, where we saw a comeback, we saw a tie, we know anything is possible. But starting off the match 3-0, Censored is looking really good already. And of course, laser rifle in hand, Nizin's looking to do some damage from afar and have his teammates and Crunk just clean it up, and that's exactly what they're going to continue to do here.
And that's the squad wipe. That's the squad wipe. I can't talk today. But no, what happens is the entire squad's gone for Xborg, right? But they try to reset themselves, but they're not able to find that forwards aggression immediately, and that just allows Censored to push in and find yet another squad wipe. More and more go down, but Wacko, again, still alive, tries to find some sort of impact, but he even falls himself. It's gonna be incredibly difficult, though. We need to see more from Wacko to succeed. But again, I'm seeing all these solo plays, Jim, and Wacko, he's not getting that reinforcement.
Yeah, Crunk really just running the gamut on these guys, impulsing into their face with that Deagle in hand, doing lots of damage. Paradox responds with 3 of his own. That's great to Xenocidal's 2. It's a good return. Censored still leading by 5, but a much closer game than that first series. And of course, Xborg, they want to win this, right? They want to take it to a game 3. Censored only leading by 5, trying to hit the no-scope. In close range, though, does come out on top. Nizin, great flick there. And now Crunk flying across the sky, double jumping into the smoke, into the fray, throwing a nade, and trying to triangulate the location of the enemy. Xenocidal going to follow up on that, and that dynamic duo, comes out on top. 15-7, just like that. They've expanded this lead.
Feel bad for Crunk. He hasn't found that much impact on the board just yet, but he's still doing a great job helping out the rest of Censored. Wacko's on top and Paradox soon to fall. Maybe not quite just yet, though, because Mezzo is down below, trying to apply that pressure on the Crunk all the same. Nizin might be there on the other side, but not quite. It's a triple, though, for Xborg. It's good to help themselves stay almost toe-to-toe with Censored. It's a 7-kill difference. Far, far different by this time last time in the matchup. Already, though, Xborg, they're finding the way to stay a little bit more calm, allow Censored to push up, and we're seeing that hook, line, and sinker. Crunk is in the air, though. He does explode a little bit, but Wacko's gonna hide in those smokes again, go for the rotates. Xenocidal doesn't care, though. He doesn't care about your smokes. He's gonna eliminate you regardless. And I like this slower game style from Xborg. It's working out well, but as soon as they push up, you can see the punishment from Censored starting to come.
Yeah, and Censored just doing such a good job of triangulating the location of all 3 members of Xborg so that they have this, right? 2 people flanking on the left side, and of course you've got Xenocidal leading the charge so that you can get this kind of split, and you're making them stay in that one location so you can keep those nades up, keep the pressure up from the impulse nades, get in their face, reposition now once again, and come out on top with a 13-kill lead. Censored just absolutely vibing. Crunk and Nizin, just what a great setup with the laser rifle, the hand cannon, and of course Nizin just finding so much value with that. And as much as Paradox does return with 1 and Wacko returns with a 2nd, here's Crunk closing in on that gap, trying to find the kill onto Wacko, and with the help of Xenocidal, they're going to come out on top once again. Censored still leading at 2x the score, 30-15.
Yeah, keep an eye on the setups again from Censored, right? They're just pushing in very aggressively. We talked about how close this game was in the beginning, but Censored, they took the ball and ran away with it. Quite literally, again, another squad wipe happens. And Censored, they have that pacing down where they know where the respawn should be from the rest of Xborg. They're gonna be hunting around now. They're gonna go from behind using the teleporters on the Fractal map, and they completely pincer down the rest of Xborg. Good trades coming by. Paradox good for 1, but he's soon to fall. It's gonna leave the Wacko last alive. But again, those timings are there, and the whole squad is gone. They respawn, and Xenocidal, Jim, he's on the other side. He knows where those next rotates should come in from, and he's waiting from up above. Again, only 14 more kills. You apply Xborg has, they'd have 50 in total. Things are
and also,
good.
like right there too, you know, Xenocidal playing that low ground. We saw him getting closed in on by the members of Xborg, but just like that, Xenocidal takes the low ground so that the rest of his team can impulse from the back of Xborg and pick up on those kills. Just such good team play and great awareness. You know, their 3D positioning is so good, and setting himself flying directly into the enemy lines. And of course, that's a team wipe for Censored. 42-17. We haven't seen anything like this all day long, all across the Fractal Cup's EVIO tournament. This is ridiculous, dude.
And Xborg are still doing better than all the teams that went up against Censored yesterday. Not as much as first game, not as much as yesterday either with the 17 before the 11, but it's looking rough right now for Xborg. They're trying to hold on, but there's only 2 more kills left. 49-17. It's unlikely. It's a big lockout here in Censored. They should be good for the 50. And there it is, the 50 and 18. At least one more snuck by for Xborg's side before the series ended. But Censored, again, they're looking great. But luckily, though, if you're a big fan of Xborg, it's not too late for them. They're going to be moving down to the elimination bracket where they could, again, make that gigantic lower bracket run.
Anything is possible, but if you look at the side of Censored, Nizen ended that match with 2 deaths. So he was 8-2 by the end of it with the KD of 4, and while that's not a lot of kills, you saw what he was doing with that laser rifle from a distance, right? Just doing 50% of HP, 75%, just doing so much damage and being a nuisance and staying alive. That teamwork from Censored is unparalleled, and my god, yeah, you mentioned it. Xborg giving them a run for their money, the closest anybody's gotten yet, but holy, what a blowout from Censored.
You know, for someone like Nizen who had a huge KD that last game, it's a good thing that EV does have these mintings for their kills, right? What's cool about it is that you can get Solana for going for kills in this game, right? Because the game's browser-based and play to earn, it's a first-person shooter with a ton of different maps and stuff, but the big thing, right, is that if you're able to pug out and frag out in games like this, you're going to be able to earn so much Solana.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for anyone that's good at this game to start earning and start earning quickly. Team Deathmatch is the name of the game. You can hop in. There's over 15 different maps, a bunch of different weapons, and if you've ever been a fan of something like Halo, Quake, Overwatch, or any of those arena FPS shooters, and you're looking for some movement in your life, this is where you want to be. And of course, we're so happy to be here and be able to cast the very first $10,000 Fractal Cup for EVIO. Of course, we're in the top 8, and everyone here is competing for their share on a global stage, right? These are global competitors, and we have servers worldwide at this point. So awesome to see the turnout. The very first tournament, we've got 256 teams with squads of 3. That puts us at around 900 entrants. It's ridiculous to see, and of course, this is the very first one, so I can't wait to see where the rest of this goes.
I know, it could go pretty much anywhere, and I'm really excited to see who Censored goes up against next, because again, we're in the top 8 right now. All these teams, they fought tooth and nail in a single Elim bracket yesterday. They know what they're doing when it comes to EV, and they have to really show that they can get that lion's share of the $10,000 prize pool.
Yeah, scary to say the least, competing through all of yesterday, but right, like you said, we're in a double Elim bracket now. You know, Xborg they're down, but they're not out. And of course, Censored will be moving on in the upper part of that bracket. So exciting to say the least. And with that said, you know, I hope Censored does face some sort of competition here. We even see you guys in the Twitch chat, which, by the way, if you're in the Twitch chat, ! giveaway, you want to get in on that giveaway. It's a lot of good stuff, but we see in the Twitch chat too, people are talking like Censored is the best group of 3 people on EV.io, period. So if you agree with that, let us know in the Twitch chat below, and if you've got another team that you think could give them a run for their money, let us know as well. We'll be monitoring that all day long as well. So shout outs to everyone who's coming by. It's gonna be nuts, man.
Honestly, there's a lot of teams from yesterday that could really put up some competition against Censored. Remember Triscas? Who
yes.
just went absolutely wild in the air with those spray control shots? I don't know. I think against Censored, that could be a bit of an issue.
It could be nuts, and like really, you know, it's hard to even gauge like where we were until we see a team of yesterday's compete against one of these higher caliber teams, because we didn't see any of these guys. Of course, you know, we saw Xborg, but competing against a team that took them to the very edge of their limits, and now here Censored shows up and just bops them like it's nothing. Can they keep their momentum up? I'm not really sure, but they look confident, they look strong, and top 8, man. It's got to be a grueling thing, and I'm happy that at least there's a double elim bracket, because maybe we'll get this Cinderella story run back in that lower bracket. So you love to see it. And of course, now it looks like we're going to take a short break while we get the players locked and loaded for the rest of these matches. With that said, we'll see you shortly.
You can stop at 5 or 6
NFT Marketplace.
or just 1. I don't need friends. They disappoint me.
Hi, I'm Todd LaRue. You could stop at 5 or 6
NFT Marketplace.
or just 1. I feel like a deer in the headlights of love.
You could stop at 5 or 6
NFT Marketplace.
or just 1. Can I ask you kind of a weird question?
Hey you, welcome back. We have more amazing action with the Fractal Cup, and my name is Keg. This is Jim. We're gonna see though if Censored can run it back.
Yeah, putting on an absolutely dominant performance in their first top 8 match. They lost 50-11 yesterday. That was their worst loss all day long, and today it didn't get much further. Probably 50-22, I want to say, Keg. I think that score was. So if any team can push them to 25, I will be completely impressed. And of course, we do have that match loading and pretty much ready for you all to watch. Sorry about that. I am just kind of mind blown at this point. Censored. Really just showing us that this game has multiple levels to it, and everything that we saw yesterday apparently means nothing because there's some new kids on the block that are just tearing everything up. And that combo, the laser rifle, the deagle, and the one guy in Xeno running them down with the machine gun, so effective.
Yeah, you're gonna have to apologize for us. I think our human brains can't handle all the complexity that's going through this game right now. I mean, we saw last game a little bit less than others, but a lot of the time there's a lot of like mobility, going high up in the air, using grenades for these really far action, going across map mobility plays too. While we didn't get to see much of that there, we just saw raw gunfight action. And I'm sure as we load into the game, we'll see even more of that here. Censored are going to be going up against no NFT, no play, which, I mean, given that's EVIO, right? I mean, that's pretty much the basis of the game here. But immediately, Censored start things off as soon as the timer starts by getting 2. Hello and Static immediately gone. It's a squad wipe again.
If you guys have ever, and I might be dating myself once again, Keg, like we did yesterday, if you've ever been on Blood Gulch, right, on Halo CE, as soon as the timer starts, you're hitting those nades to try and get to the middle of the map as soon as possible, and that's a lot of what we're seeing from Censored here. Crunk and Nizen, though, this dynamic duo running the laser rifle and that hand cannon, just absolutely obliterating players mid-air before they get into teleporters and everywhere else that they can get their eyes on them, man. This is gross.
I mean, the marksmanship from Nizen right now has been impeccable, right? He's designed to be more of the cleanup player of the team, in case things do get a little bit hairy, but otherwise he's on the back lines, sniping away, and he's doing a fantastic job doing so too, right? But, oh, good lord, anywhere we go, we just see action, decimation every which way. It's only 6 kills, though, for no NFT, no play, but again, they have to be at 11 to be better than the teams from yesterday. But compared to what we had seen from X-Borg, though, there is some expectations on the line here, but Censored, they're looking true to form. It looks like that first game may have just been a warm-up series, Jim, and that's what makes me worried the most.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. It's kind of scary. Now we're seeing even more aerial play come out from Crunk. Oh, great shot from Hello there. Just a little shoulder peek to entice him, and then re-peeks for the headshot. Love to see it. A little tack FPS prowess popping through there, but of course Cuckoo responding, and and no NFT, no play are at 10, Censored at 18. It's close so far, but just as I said that, Censored opening it up once again, 2 more kills on the board. They're looking so good.
They're looking fantastic right now. Squad wipes keep happening, but Censored aren't really playing up the resets this time around. A lot of no NFT, no play are just kind of going in for these 1vx actions. They're not playing as a team. They're looking for individual gunfights. But times like that does work out pretty well for them. They're able to take down one, Crunk falls, but as a full team pushing together now, they're trying to go toe-to-toe against Censored, and doesn't seem to be working in their favor because everyone goes down immediately, mostly to the hands of Crunk. Now, Mr. Producer, I would love to see the scoreboard right now to see Crunk's KD, because he has done nothing but frag out, and frag out he has. 12 and 6, that's no laughing matter. That's a lot of Solana in his pocket.
And that's the thing too, you got Crunk already running the gamut through the air, just flying around and nuking people with this Deagle, fighting lots of damage from range, and of course Xenocidal always there to back him up, or rather the hand cannon, and always finding the team play to back them up. But ultimately, you got Nizen still at like 2 deaths as well. He's just staying alive, staying ranged, and doing so much damage. Here's Nizen once again, still at range in midair with that laser rifle. You love to see it, the little pew pew as their life slowly dissipates. It's so good. Censored at 32.
It's looking really good, and we gotta give it to no NFT, no play too for catching up quite a bit. Even if it's a 14 kill differential, it's looking a lot better than it did at the beginning of the series. Now we're about the halfway point in the timer, but 15 away for Censored is all they need to bring it the first match to their own favor. Now whether it's a Deagle, a Sheriff, a hand cannon, no matter what at this point, every single player is treating it all the same. A headshot machine, doing some impeccable work, but it's all utility on the kill feed right now. Grenades, mines, whatever have you. The floor quite literally is lava, and Hello needs to go up high into the air to escape the grasp of Crunk.
Wow, nice. Stays alive there, uses the wall to his advantage, and comes out on top, finding a 2K there, finding 3 onto Nizen. No NFT, no play. They are here to play, but still Censored is so good, but Hello returns. Great midair shots down onto Crunk. It's back and forth, but Censored ultimately are leading the charge with a 14 kill lead still, even though it looks scrappy all the way through. Oh, almost connects with a great midair shot there, but no dice.
42-27. No NFT, no play have been the best team score-wise so far to go up against Censored. But again, only at the halfway point is no NFT, no play at 43-29 now. The numbers are coming close very, very quickly for Censored side. They only need 5 more kills to get themselves that lead over the series.
God! Bro, this guy is disgusting with that laser rifle. Finding two midway, and you see how much it chunks them for. It's roughly like 65% of their HP. So if anybody is able to follow up, Nissen just might do it himself and find the finishing blows. There's two more, and he sees blood in the water. Crunk popping off there, and there's 50 for the game.
50 to 35 isn't bad. A 15 kill score is definitely still putting more pressure against Censored. The best we've seen so far, no NFT, no play, has put a dent into the armor of Censored, but it still hasn't been enough to take away a scoreline or have an advantage over Censored whatsoever. That's the big goal right now. Or Censored, they're going to be making a watery grave for everybody in the lower bracket, but that might make the lower bracket even more competitive though if Censored can just swipe their way all the way to grand finals.
Yeah, really. Great stuff from No NFT, No Play. They got a lot further, like you mentioned, than any other team so far. And if you can get Nissen off of 2 deaths, you're doing a great job. So I'm glad that everyone on the side of Censored was under 2 KDA this time around, but still leading the charge by about 15 kills is no joke. No NFT, No Play, though. Glimpses of greatness. Can they keep it up, Keg?
I think they could keep it up. I think No NFT, No Play did have those glimpses of having adaptability going around. They started playing together as a team towards the halfway mark, and they really found a lot of reeling kills back to back to back to back. But then, no Censored again, they were able to counter-adapt once more. They played more loose. They played for those 1vx plays, and they were able to get double and even sometimes triple kills with whatever pistol they were holding in their hands. Now, to put things into perspective a little bit more, it's the upper semis right now. If Censored win this next matchup, they go on to the upper finals. And from there, they only need to win one more series to make themselves a contender in the grand finals for the Fractal Cup.
Scary. And of course, they are all playing for the lion's share of $10,000. So if you or a loved one wants to get in on the action, head on over to ev.io for some team deathmatch glory. And of course, shout outs to Fractal for putting this on, Keg. This would not be possible without them.
No doctors can help us here, and certainly probably can't help in-game either. I think there might be some little resuscitation needed for No NFT, No Play, because again, if they're not able to win this next series, they're going to be facing other teams like Xborg in the lower bracket.
Yeah, scary to say, and of course, all the teams that we've seen compete against Censored have brought them much further than anybody has yesterday. And of course, that's not to say that maybe someone still yet to come might just knock Censored down to the loser's bracket. So anything is possible in this game. And of course, you saw the pace of the game was blistering to say the least. You need to hit those shots. You got to have your hit scan prowess on point, and of course, projectiles as well. We got the grenade launcher, the rocket launcher, and all the rest. So I'm ready to see what happens, man. We are just getting the players into the lobby, getting it all set, and of course we will get into the match as soon as possible. But of course, if you're in the Twitch chat as well, exclamation point giveaway. We got a lot of good stuff happening today, Keg.
Yeah, I'm jealous. Why can't I do that?
You could. You totally could.
Oh, that wouldn't be fair to Twitch chat. We got to make them have a chance.
Yeah, you know, I heard Keg is a Radiant in Valorant, and he will take anybody on 1v3 in the EVIO tournament. He said these guys are all like, no big deal, you know.
Hey,
This is what I've heard.
I had to be on the desk instead, you know, I had to give them a chance. Of course.
Yeah. No, these guys are nuts. And of course, we see in the Twitch chat too, people were saying that Wacko, actually, you were mentioning on one of the teams that we had seen competing, was actually a Pro G2 pro player. So there's a lot of star power rocking around. And of course, we want to shout out Luminosity as well. They're doing a lot of stuff for EVIO coming up. So a lot of your favorite streamers, including if you watch Melee, Ginger, he'll be playing the game as well. Rocky
Melee.
No Hands and Anomaly as well. So lots of stars hopping into the fray soon. Animali, our guy.
Yeah, I'm glad you said Anomaly and not Animali. At least I said Wacko's name right.
You know, that was a little less difficult, I gotta say, but I do love everyone for popping out today, you know, showing love in the Twitch chat. Let us know who you got winning this next match, right? Censored looks really strong, but it was only a 15 kill difference. That's only the matter of like 2 or 3 real team fights. So, and no NFT, no play or Censored. Who do you got moving on, and who do you got dropping down to lower bracket in our double elim bracket for top 8? Man, it's gonna be good.
It's going to be good. Real good. I think the grand finals, again, it's going to be a best of 5, unlike the best of 3s that we have here. And again, the ties are still there. We could very well see more ties where if there is a tie in the scoreline for the kills is exactly the same as the timer ends. That means that game doesn't count. So we continue on another one. So these best of threes or even the best of fives could easily turn into a best of seven somehow immediately. So I can't wait to see if that happens again, because that was the most blood rushing I think we had yesterday.
Yeah, it was ridiculous to see, you know, a team that went so aggressive as the timer ticks down, started getting kind of anxious, and we got our very first tie and our very first comeback win. So really, these swings are awesome to watch, and when you have teams so close in skill level, that's the sort of game that we're going to get. So hopefully, going into this next one, no NFT, no play, come into this with a better game plan and can close that 15 kill gap, because if anyone has gotten close, it's them. They're the closest so far, and 15 kills might still be a lot, but it's definitely putting a statement out.
I mean, comparing from yesterday to today, right? Every single series that Censored has gone up against, the scoreline has gotten closer and closer every single time. But what else is closer to is the game being ready. So you don't have to look at our faces anymore. We're going to go into game and see exactly if no NFT, no play can finally put a dent in the scoreline, the flawless run so far that Censored have had. Now, Jim, you know who I think is going to win this?
Who?
Oh, I can't tell you. But you can find out if you can do exclamation mark giveaway in chat.
Yes, that's true. Do exclamation mark giveaway. You can get on the whitelist. There's lots of stuff happening today and in the days coming. So make sure you head on over to EVIO once the tournament's over, because the action is never really done. Free to play, play to earn, and get in on these tournaments. Currently Censored in our top 8 match, proceeding to our top 4 at this point, leading the way 1-0 in this match set, and it's a tied game. No NFC, no play are here to rock.
It's down to this next kill, Jim. Whoever gets the next one could tell a different story for the entirety of the rest of the tournament, but Censored again to find 2 and no NFT, no play. Close to a squad wipe, they all fall. That was their chance of brilliance to make things tied and go in their favor, but it all falls underway. Now Censored again, they nearly double the kills in that time against no NFT, no play. Again, they're just able to play around the spawns and the resets that no NFT they're forced to go into. These teleporters too, we've seldom talked about, have been so strong for their cross-map rotates as well, in the mines and all the utility. I think Censored have been the best team we've seen so far this whole tournament, at least on stream, who have been able to find conversions while using utility to take kills.
Yeah, you can tell they're communicating really well, because like you mentioned, their map control of the teleporters is really good. Plus, if they notice, like, hey, here we got Nizen on the right side, we can start flanking in from the left. You see they're split up like this, and they create Nizen to be this target where, like, you have to address him, otherwise he's just going to keep chipping your team away. But if, just like that, no NFC, no play, find Nizen, turn back around, and find Xeno as he's impulsing in. They're starting to get a read on what Censored's doing here.
I like these reads. A full squad wipe against Censored. This is the first time we have seen that happen. Always maybe a double kill, possibly just a single, but never a full squad wipe all at once. And now this could be the chance for no NFT, no play to really maneuver themselves across the map and find a stronghold for the respawns of Censored. But as soon as we say that though, it was a trade. Crunk and Hello find each other out, and back and forth once again. There's just no leverage between the two teams. A 4, make that 3 kill differential between the two. If no NFT, no play can find another squad wipe again, we return to a tie.
Yeah, this guy, Hello 12 on no NFC, no play, just an absolute menace with this util, finding so many mine and nade kills, plus just being the primary fragger of the team. Can they keep it up? Like you mentioned, it's only a 3-kill game, and Hello finds one, Xeno returns with another, and just like that, Xeno and Nizen find the rest of the team, and that's going to be a quick wipe as Nizen across the map with the laser rifle finds one as well. 24-18, they're opening up this game.
Well, he's treating this laser rifle like an actual laser. He's doing such a good job playing marksman again. Allows more time for Censored, the rest of the team, to set up for themselves the frag out, and they most certainly do. My God, Cuckoo, that was beautiful. But now, can he do it again? Can he find some more? He goes to the teleporter, and now he's looking for one more. And oh, Nizen does fall. He's not able to convert. That's so strong. Again, no matter if the numbers keep going up or not, it's still a 3-kill differential.
Yeah, we talk about emotional damage. Getting sniped mid-air by Cuckoo could not have felt good. And just like that, it's a 2-kill game. We talk about mental fortitude. Oh my God. Nizen and Crunk, though, seem to have it as even in the midst of all of that chaos, they keep their wits about them and just continue to frag. And that's what it all comes down to in a TDM. We are playing to 50 and we are at halftime with Censored still leading by 7 kills here.
It was 7. It is 7. It was 3, then 4, and slowly climbed and climbed and climbed to now nearly 10 between the two. Those resets have been so strong for no NFT, no play to find impact here, but Censored again, they're spreading themselves out. Nizen playing behind the lines again. That means less opportunities for no NFT to really bring up the score. As long as Nizen can stay alive and Xenocidal can do Xenocidal things, he is fantastic about being able to convert all these different kills. It's going to lead things now to a 14 kills for Censored to bring things themselves to the upper finals. Though we do get to see those impulse nades go across the map, the teleporter in play as well. All from behind Cuckoo. Not able to convert once again. He's separated away from the team, and he's got to go back.
Beautiful shots from Crunk. You see him tracking mid-air. Yeah, those arcs that we had talked about, right? And on the team Crunkage, we saw this happening a lot, is that they would impulse to where people impulsed from so that they could follow people on that arc. You can't alter it once you're gone on that arc other than using your blink ability. So if you know they don't have any of that, you can just kind of laser them out of the sky. And Censored just busting open this game at 41-30 with an 11 kill lead. Hello though, just always returning with frags on the leaderboard, and has not been stopped at all, man.
This could potentially be the final run now for Censored before going to the upper finals. Xenocidal hasn't found any impact yet. Crunk and Nizen, though, are laying down the lay of the land, all the fire coming by.
Love
46-31 now. 47 make that. Oh no, it keeps climbing up for Censored. They're looking to end this game now. They're looking to make this yet another clean 2-0. No NFT, no play. They've done a great job so far, but they have to get nearly 20 in order to match up against Censored. But now again, the final play could come underway. 48 still for Censored. Hasn't gone up at all. 2 minutes left on the clock. A gigantic battle underway. One more for Censored to bring things to the upper finals. And there it is, a laser shot by none other than Nizen to close it out.
Yeah, kill spread is really even across the board, and that's what it felt like for Censored. Their teamwork, their team play, and the chemistry was just so on point across the board. You got to give it to him. Censored taking the second map of this BO3, progressing here, sending no NFT, no play to our lower bracket. Keg, what a game.
It's going to make the lower brackets really, really competitive for a lot of teams. If Censored can just flawlessly move their way all the way into the grand finals, that means the real tournament, I would say, is in the elimination bracket. That's going to make things just as difficult for all these teams, maybe thinking they have some wiggle room in day 2. But no, it's going to be just like day 1 where there is no second chances. It's going to be an elimination bracket all over again.
It's really, it's a cutthroat tournament, and of course everyone here is playing their hearts out for their share of $10,000 in the Fractal Cup EVIO tournament here, the first of its kind. So of course, if you're liking what you're seeing and you want to get involved, EV.io for all your team deathmatch needs. And of course, shout outs to Fractal for putting up 10K for this inaugural tournament, drawing out around 900 competitors from around the world. So shout outs to everyone in the Twitch chat. Hit that exclamation point giveaway. There's a lot of great stuff going on all day long, and of course a ton of great matches still to come. With that said, we are going to take a very short break as we get the players ready to rock and roll as we continue through our top 8 bracket. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon.
I've lost count of how many desolate rocks I've found this week. But I know something great is out there, and I'll be damned if someone finds it before me. We're all just wanderers. Right now, anyway. Trying to find a way out of the shadows and into the light of the road star.
Hi, I'm Justin Kahn, one of the founders of Fractal. Previously, I co-founded a small, up-and-coming, underground live streaming platform called Twitch. Twitch changed everything. Aside from bringing the world hot tub streams, poggers, chat, and epic gamer moments, it also unlocked an entire industry for gaming content. No one saw it coming. We've come pretty far since I strapped a camera to my head and live streamed my life. Well, maybe not that far. Games are growing bigger and faster than ever thanks to in-game assets like cosmetic skins and items. Last year, developers generated over 35 billion in microtransactions alone. But what if I told you that gaming NFTs are going to be way, way bigger? What if I told you that the power of Web3 is going to unlock the gaming economy on a scale we've never seen before? What if you could tell your mom that all the hours you spent grinding mounts in WoW aren't a waste of your life, and have that actually be true? That's why we built Fractal. Because at the end of the day, we're all gaming and crypto degens. I'm here to answer one question. What the fuck is Fractal? Tighten your chin straps. I'm about to take you on a magical journey through the Fractalverse, through our marketplace, launchpad, and Discord server. Fractal is the premier NFT marketplace for gaming NFTs. What makes Fractal so special is that we're laser focused on building for games and their biggest fans. We're currently on the Solana blockchain, but we'll be looking to expand to other chains pretty soon, so keep watching the space. On our homepage, you'll be able to see information about upcoming mints, playable demos, trending games, and recent sales on the marketplace. Browse through the games we've partnered with in the Games tab. You'll be able to explore all available listings, sort by price, attributes, rarity, and more filters. Sort from low to high if you're a pleb, and sort from high to low if you're a baller. Sort by rarity, and then cry when you realize you can't afford that mythic item. It's important to do your research before purchasing any assets. Make sure that it's a project, founding team, and vision that you actually want to support. Now this is where the minting magic happens. The Fractal Launchpad is where we directly help games launch their mints. You can think of it like Kickstarter for Web3 games. This is how fans, that's you guys, can support games in fulfilling their vision while getting early access to assets that will be usable in games when they launch. You can view current and following mints, whitelist requirements, remaining supply, and information about projects and their teams. Once the mint countdown timer reaches 0, and provided that you're holding the right whitelist token, you'll be able to participate in the mint. When all the mints run out, you'll be able to sell your NFT on the secondary market. The Fractal NFTs are a collection of 100,000 uniquely generated snowflakes floating around the metaverse. These NFTs are going to have a ton of benefits on the Fractal marketplace, the community, as well as eventually in games when developers start building them into their games. There's a ton more information about the Fractal NFT, including factions, power levels, hidden attributes, and more at nft.fractal.is. We'll talk more about the community benefits of Fractal in a second. We can't wait for Fractal NFTs to unlock their true potential as games start kicking off and building on top of them. Now let's head over to the Fractal Discord server. This is the home of the Fractal community, our very own special snowflakes. Here's where we built a tight-knit community for gaming and blockchain enthusiasts from all over the world, aka the world's biggest ape sanctuary. So why should you join? Our Discord members get early access to updates, announcements, and alpha from the Fractal team, access to discussion channels about a variety of topics, and updates on project mints. If you're a VIP, which means you're holding a Fractal NFT and have verified in our server, you'll be eligible for exclusive giveaways, admission to events with famous guest speakers, AMAs, participation in community gaming tournaments, whitelists for mints, and much, much more. Note that some events will be exclusive for higher faction Fractal holders. Lastly, if you've been following us on Twitter @FractalWagMe, you might have come across a hashtag Proof of Justin. And if you're not following us on Twitter, you're not going to make it. A Proof of Justin is a guaranteed stamp of approval from the Fractal team that the information released is genuine. whenever we push a big update, announce a new mint, or launch a new community event, it will be accompanied by a short video of me while the Fractal team holds a gun to my head and makes me read off a prepared script. Please help me. Remember, if you didn't hear it from me, it's probably not true. So that's it. This has been your Fractal walkthrough. Make sure you watch this every night before you go to bed and pray to the crypto gods for alpha. Go check out our site now at fractal.is and join our Discord server to start exploring the gaming metaverse. And one more thing, make sure to type out the URL fractal.is. Don't click any links or embeds, even if they look similar. And if you don't know how to spell fractal, well, you're not going to make it. I'll see you there.
Hello and welcome back to the upper finals, everyone, of the Fractal Cup. My name is Keg and I'm joined by Jim again. We gotta talk about a few things, because even if the tournament only ends today, there's still plenty of amazing action left with Fractal as a whole, if you want to keep enjoying all the amazing action. So, again, to briefly describe it, Eve.io is a play-to-earn ability shooter made by one of the most respected names in web gaming, Addicting Games. Now, Eve.io is also minting its first NFT collection on the Fractal launchpad on May 11th. So again, if the stream in the tournament does end today, there's still plenty of other Eve.io action that you can have down the line later next week. And you can also find more at fractal.is/EV. So Jim, are you excited to see the upper finals?
Yeah, I am really pumped just because we've been seeing things that we still haven't seen yet, and it's been 2 days of straight competition, right? Every match we head into, we see something new, some different play style, and somehow these teams find ways to make everything work. So we're heading into our upper finals, if I'm not mistaken, and the competition's been stiff. This team Censored has just been tearing it up, and we are almost ready to head into the actual map itself. So Censored are going into this one against, who is the competition here, and will they stand a chance, Keg? Crunkage.
Absolutely. This is a team we actually saw yesterday too, Jim. They did really, really well. Now, one name that we're going to see immediately, of course, the first double kill comes from our boy. It's Eska. Oh, I thought it was a quadruple somehow at first. Caught me off guard. But again, Eska was a fantastic fragger in the last time, yesterday. Did a fantastic job finding so many opening picks. And M2 was having a little bit more of a quieter game, but still found a lot more impact. But my God, already Crunkage 7-2. This is the first time this whole tournament we have seen Censored in the losing position.
Yeah, starting off this hot, Crunkage are coming in and really showing Censored that, hey, you might have had a great time in the tournament up until this point, but we're here to play. Crunkage, yeah, you mentioned it yesterday too. We saw Crunkage just absolutely dominate their opponents as well, putting on a great showing, and here they are once again, dominant over Censored, 12-4, opening it up to an 8-kill difference in the very first minute of this match, Keg. This is not something we're used to seeing.
Yeah, this is a complete reversal of what we've been hyping up this entire tournament, and people are being blasted out of the sky. Again, Censored has a full motion about what each member of their team needs to bring to the table. We don't know the same thing about Crunkage. We don't know what the roles specifically are for each member, but with that being said, Crunkage, whatever they're doing, it's working fantastically well. They're able to disrupt the back lines, especially for Nizen on Censored, but everybody else, these 1v1s, team wipes, resets all over. It's the whole gambit. M2, fantastic with the triple kill right there. But Nizen, again, we got to focus on the marksmanship for a second. Attempting to find those shots again, Eska, who's another marksman, and while some shots do connect, it doesn't turn into a full kill until Nizen does. And then Eska falls, but he gets traded out immediately.
Yeah, really, really back and forth. Crunkage, though, maintaining the dominance in this long team fight so far at 22-12. Censored, though, they want to get back into the game. Let's see how they do it. Crunk always mid-air with that deagle, with that hand cannon, really just making the most of it and doing such great damage from distance. He almost spends more time in the air than he does on the ground, and Crunk really is just that point man for the team. Now mid-air once again, a great shots there, impulses off the wall, and is trying to coordinate with his team to find a second frag here, but Censored lagging in the back by 8 kills here. Can they close this gap as Crunkage just keeps putting points on the board, man?
It doesn't happen often to us, or I guess casters in general, but I'm dumbfounded about what I'm watching. Like, we can see the kill feed, it's just racking up non-stop, and there's so much flying action everywhere at once that all these individual gunfights, they're incredibly difficult for anyone to find any sort of footing. But speaking of footing, though, Censored have made a comeback. It's a 7-kill differential now between themselves and Crunkage. But as long as Crunkage can keep finding those numbers, they should be good for 51st. But Censored has something else to say about that. 24-29 now, a 5-kill differential, closing the gap slowly but surely. Nizen again gonna be caught off guard though on a 2v1, but good for the double kill regardless though. Does send Crunkage over to 31, but Censored again, that gap is closing rapidly.
closing rapidly, and Censored, the way they're doing it is they're splitting up once again, right? We saw Nizen with that rifle, that laser rifle, doing so much damage and allowing that two-man hit squad on the rest of the Censored team to clean up so many of these fights. And once again, Xenocidal with that machine gun doing so much damage, and Crunk mid-air, hand cannon, Deagle ready to fire, just finding so much value. And now it's a 2-kill game, man. This has been flipped on its head. Censored making a huge comeback in this one.
Remember what happened yesterday, though? It's a 2-kill differential. A single kill at this point will obviously matter quite a bit. First to 50 will win the first match. But again, if it ends on a tie, when that 4-minute timer is up, then both Crunkage and Censored don't get a point at all, and they have to replay that first match. Now it's a 2-kill differential once again. Once more, we see Crunkage filling up the entire leaderboard once again, but not in the most positive way. It's a double takedown for themselves. On the other side, a 1-kill differential, Jim. It's tied up completely.
Yeah, Crunk finding a great mine placement there and just putting them outside those teleporters has found so much value. 39-39, it's anybody's game. Nizen now taking these weird angles, landing a couple great shots on the back of helping his teammate out there, and Censored take the lead for the first time this match, and just like that, it's tied back up. Nizen, great couple shots, wants to stay alive, impulses to safety, and that's exactly how they're going to keep playing it. Nizen being the point man, the marksman from the distance, and having this two-man squad just run around, provide that info for Nizen, and misses uncharacteristically that shot there, but just like that, Xenocidal closes the distance. Crunk finds a nade kill. 45-43, Censored leading the game here with 5 kills left on the board.
And when we get to this point with there's less than 10 kills left for either team, usually the gameplay slows down quite a bit. But no one's letting go of the gas pedal this time on either team. 47-47 now, Crunkage and Censored. There's no go in the town. They're looking to find any sort of impact here. Hand cannon, the super pistol in hand right now for Crunk, trying to find something through a blinded teammate, but shot out of the sky. Whoa. It's gonna be Nizen for 2. One more is needed, but 0 comes through, and I think it was Censored that one. Final kill with the Xenocidal, and it was 50-49, Jim.
Yeah, really, really well done. That setup that Censored are running, just doing so much damage with these pot shots from afar, and having Xeno always impulsing in, always just drilling down that last 35% of health. So effective, and what a comeback to bring it all the way back to 49-49 and eventually take the first map of this best of 3 series, Keg. What a nuts match.
I sound like a broken record every time I've talked about Censored going for their adaptability and resets, right? That's pretty much what's been coming down to. Censored have had a great job going for their movement, right? And of course their gunplay is also fantastic, but it's mostly just controlling where they expect the positions of Crunkage, or granted any team we've seen today, go up against in play. They've just been able to pincer and suffocate them down to ensure that the entire map is in their control.
Yeah, it's really, really good to watch, and we were thinking for a while, okay, uncharacteristically, Censored are down 12 kills, 13 at some point, and it seemed kind of impossible for them to bring it back, but really just sticking to their game plan, like, okay, if we can keep getting this damage down on the Crunkage team, we can still clean it up. Xenocidal and Crunk of their own, you know, flying through the air, just being a menacing duo of destruction. It works out. 50-49. Yesterday, this Censored team got taken to 11 points max, and now it's a 1-kill game. Going into the second round, it really could be anybody's match, dude.
And we talked about this, what, 2 series ago? Every single match we have seen against Censored, every team has gone slowly and slowly better to chip away that scoreline against Censored. So sure, it's not that 50-11 anymore, but it's also not that 50-21 we had seen in the first series either. 50-49 is a victory for Censored, but it's not a very good victory either. That means this could easily go 1-1 as long as Crunkage hunkers down and they realize what Censored's big motive is about that map control. Jim, I think this will be our first 1-1. I think this is the first time Censored could lose a match in this entire tournament.
It's really, really a possibility, and I think even, you know, we had talked about it before, Censored might have just gotten caught off guard in terms of pace, right? When we look at Censored starting matches, they are flying immediately, and so they want to try and get the jump on the enemy team. Crunkage, though, were kind of ready, and they came out of the gate flying, and it worked with flying colors, right? They led with 12 or 13 kills at one point. Unfortunately, at some point, the steam ran out from the Crunkage side, and they weren't able to keep up to the devastating pace that Censored keeps playing at. So heading into this next one, we might, Keg, yeah, I agree, we might just see a map 3 if Crunkage can keep that pace up all the way till the very, very end. 1 kill separated these two teams, and what a great start from Crunkage. Great return from Censored. Hopefully, we can keep it up going into the second map. I can't even wait, right? Once we get to more tournaments too, and we get more maps into the mix, and we see more of these set plays coming out from teams, how the meta develops, right? These hit squads we've been seeing of long-range fighters, close-range brawlers, and of course this great split setup that Censored are running. I wonder what we're going to see in this next one, because these are the best two teams we've seen compete yet in the entire tournament.
Absolutely. And it's not like we have much past experience to go with either, because this is one of the first Fractal tournaments ever for EVIO. And so if you're just tuning into the stream and you're wondering what the heck is going on, some FPS game I've never seen before, let me break it down for you. Fractal Cup is brought to you by Fractal.is, and Fractal is the marketplace for gaming NFTs, which, if you don't know, are durable assets that let you have something inside of the gaming universe. Fractal's mission is to create an open platform for the exchange of free exchange of digital goods, and they do this by partnering with the best gaming companies to launch NFTs and build tools that help them reach their customers at scale. And I would say the Fractal map that we see is pretty big. I'd say that's a pretty good scale to look at, but enough of our pretty faces. Let's look at that map one more time and see Crunkage and Censored go over and see if we can finally have a matchup where Censored loses.
A lot riding on the line, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into the second round of our upper finals here. Of course, this is a best of 3. It is a double elimination bracket. We are on the upper side of this bracket with Censored currently leading the way after taking a victory in the first round of this BO3, 50-49. A close game, the closest we've had all weekend long, and just like that, Crunkage are back in it, taking a small lead here, but a lead nonetheless.
I mean, this is pretty similar to what we had seen in the first game too, right? Crunkage had a much more dominant lead in the beginning, but it's still a lead nonetheless. That being said, though, Censored, their pace is a lot more aggressive than we had seen in the beginning of last game. They're going much more heavy hitting. They want to go for the gunfights more than anything else right now, and Crunk in reverse, we're just flying all over the map, dancing away, catches Niramino off guard, but Crunk still goes down.
Yeah, almost looked like Crunk was going to come out on top there, but you could see him get kind of flustered as he was reaching his target destination, started spamming with that deagle in hand, and now the sniper in hand for S-Gage. You know, this is the marksman we had spoken about, but Crunk coming out on top shows that it is not the size of the weapon, but how you use it indeed. Crunk, great job there, and Censored just like that, back in the lead, 8-7.
Oh no, M2! What happened? He was like stuck in the sky for a second. Oh no. It's okay though. He has the smoke grenade to play around with a little bit. He can hide away and dance around and take down Crunk in the process. That being said though, M2, he's still looking for that marksman role a little bit more. Xenocidal bouncing around the map as well. Niramino again, catching all these people off guard. He's been finding the weirdest gunfights, and half the time he trades out pretty well. But again, like our little P human brains, we can't comprehend all the action going on this map. It's gunfights, gunfights, gunfights happening everywhere.
Oh, great shot.
12-12.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like we've seen Nizen be the guy to take on... Oh, great shot! Crunk returns with a nade kill to even things out, and Nizen comes out on top once again. But that laser rifle being used by Nizen, he's the anchor for the team. And of course, S-Gage is the anchor for his team. But in these duels that we've been seeing between Nizen and S-Gage, Nizen happens to come out on top more often than not. And if it's not because of his own shots and his own volition, it's because of Xeno always providing the covering fire with that rifle and just doing so much damage to finish out these kills. And once again, finds 3 in a row to put Censored at a 5-kill lead.
But this is the earliest we've seen Censored take back a lead, right? We don't know what the response from Crunkage could be. By the time last match that Censored had taken that lead, it was almost far too late into the matchup for Crunkage to make it down back. They're 5 kills behind, Jim. They could have the chance to bring it back here, but they need to go for a reset and change up their strategy almost completely, or these gunfights are not going to go in their favor. I like what Eska's doing, though, going from behind, trying to flank down at least one. It's going to be Xenocidal to fall. Look at this again, jumping high up into the air, and Niramino using the advantage of flying toes and nearly finds a double kill off of it.
Yeah, gross. Just a great scrap from both sides. Crunkage appeared to come out on top at first, but then almost overextended their stay for a little too long. And Niramino, Xenocidal was able to come in and pick up a couple of frags there. Censored still leading by 5 at this point, and Xeno will go down to M2 Arcade. Niramino taking control of that teleported area, but Xenocidal is up and ready to rock. So coordinating with his team now, impulses into the middle of the action and just starts spraying because he knows he needs to do chip damage for the rest of his team to get those value shots out of both the Deagle and that laser rifle from a distance. So that's exactly what he does. Closes the distance, still leading by 5, Censored at 33 as we're halfway through this 8-minute match.
And coordination is the perfect word that Crunkage are using to adapt and try to go toe-to-toe again against Censored. They need to coordinate more. They have the team chemistry. They've made it this far. That's not in question. It's the question of how they want to coordinate themselves to play specifically to go against Censored. Issue is, though, there's glimpses of it coming into fruition, but it looks like now again, Censored have increased the lead even more. They only need 12 more to bring themselves into the grand finals of the Fractal Cup, but up high into the air, nearly a double kill. Xenocidal can't find either, but M2, he's having a breakout game right now. He's finding so much impact here, so much more than yesterday. And M2 again, his movement too, especially in his escape options against Xenocidal, I loved it. 16-13 is no laughing joke.
No laughing joke, and it's a close game now. They'd been leading by 5 for the majority of it, but Crunkage finding multiple kills in a row at 39-36. It's a 3-kill game. Crunk looking for some damage. Nizen and Xenocidal, this dynamic duo, once again paired up, ready to rock. They are prowling on the grounds, and Crunk and Xeno find 2 quick ones as Crunk takes the high ground and coordinates with Xeno for a 3rd there. M2 Arcade returns, Xeno as well. It's still a 4-kill game as Censored nearing 5 remaining frags in this game, and if they're able to take this one, they will send Crunkage down to the lower bracket, and if Censored wins, they'll be moving on to the grand finals.
The grand finals, potentially 4 kills away for Censored now. That's all they need, and Crunkage have a mountain to climb, but they only need 8 more to get to the first part of the summit. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock here, and Censored again, they want to close the gap, bring it to 50 as soon as possible. Crunkage, if any team here in the tournament can do it, it's them. They need 7 more, but Censored only need 1. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left. All it takes is 1 more kill, and it goes to the hands of Xenocidal. And we have Eska as well, but it has to go to Censored again. 2-0 it seems. And Crunkage came incredibly close, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, what a close game, but ultimately not enough. That stamina that we had spoken about, Censored just seems to have it. No matter the game, no matter what's happening, you can count on that dynamic duo of Xeno and Crunk to be flying through the air, and of course Nizen to be lurking somewhere in that background and just doing so much damage from afar. Of course, we saw S-Gage try to take that similar approach, but just get dunked on by Nizen. The marksmanship on these guys is phenomenal, to say the least.
It speaks on Censored's coordination so much, right, Jim? We had seen so many different times, so many different strategies and counter strategies attempted to be put into play by Crunkage, but with the smoke grenades and all the movement-based options that both teams had, it was just, I think Censored just had the gunfight diff.
Yeah, the gunfight diff was so good, and of course, in that first game, it came down to 1 frag. This game, a little bit different. It was a bit more of a gap, but still Crunkage putting on a show. 50-11. Let's talk about that again. You know, we say this a million times already, but 50-11 was how close anybody got to taking down Censored yesterday, and today it was a 1-kill difference. So with that game being wrapped up, Censored do proceed to your grand finals with Crunkage going down to the lower bracket. They might have an opportunity to redeem themselves, Keg, but it's not going to be easy.
No, it's not going to be easy at all. Censored have gone flawlessly through the winners bracket so far and have looked fantastic through today, but that means that they go through flawlessly. All the teams who might have been diffed by them a little bit more all have to now gladiator style fight for each other in the single elimination in the elimination bracket down below. That means it's really hard to tell who's going to be going into the grand finals alongside Censored, but I wouldn't be surprised if Crunkage makes that comeback again.
Yeah, it was insane to watch. And of course, thank you all in the Twitch chat for stopping by and watching. Make sure you spam that exclamation point giveaway to learn more and to get entered into that giveaway, because why wouldn't you want to be, right?
Exactly.
With that said, we are getting the matches underway. And of course, we will take a very short break as we get the players ready, locked and loaded to head into our lower finals. And then, of course, we'll be taking the winner of that all the way to the grand. So with that said, I'm Jim Basco, that's Keg, and we'll be right back.
I think there's a profound and enduring beauty in simplicity, in clarity. When we think of the Fractal F, it's so much more than just a pink F. It's a remarkable visual design achievement. I think it truly represents a complete revolution in the way a company's story can be encapsulated in such a small but impactful way. Every detail was specifically engineered to bring the vision of Fractal to life. Everything from the shade of pink to the boldness of the lettering took us months of laborious work. We worked intensely with some of the most talented visual design minds from all over the world in order to even have a chance to pull off this ambitious feat. The result is something with a degree of elegance, beauty, and robustness that even we never dreamed of. One of the things we're most proud of here at Fractal is our immaculate attention to detail, no matter how subtle. For example, you may not have noticed that the F in the logo actually stands for Fractal. And I think that's just one of the many absolutely brilliant little details that often goes underappreciated. But we don't do things for clout. We do things because they matter. Despite everyone telling us it couldn't be done, we persevered and managed to pull it off. Fractal is all about letting quality speak for itself and pushing beyond the limits of what we thought was possible. What we achieved here, I don't think anyone has really done before. This is what Web3 is all about, and we're leading the charge. Okay. Pretty good?
Yes, you really deadpan the good ones that matter.
Right.
up, guys? It's Bryson here. First, I want to say thank you to EV.io, Fractal, and the community gaming fam for allowing me to participate, be a part of it, and make this video. So I'm going to hop right into the questions that you guys set forth. The first one, intro. Who are you? What team are you playing for? And why are you making this video? Well, my name is Bryson. I'm an NFT gaming content creator under the Loot Squad brand in Vayner Sports. I'm going to be competing alongside two of my good friends from the Web2 gaming scene under the team name If We Lose, We Are Washed. So my friend Cairo came up with a memeable name for the event. We're super excited to hop into it. The game is a lot of fun. And I'm making this video because as a competitor, as somebody who's super excited about Web3, I'm competing in the EV.io Fractal Cup on community gaming, and you should be as well. All right, question number 2. What got you into Web3 gaming? Man, it's crazy. I was listening to a podcast about 365 days ago. It was probably a year and a month. And I was driving, listening to a podcast, heard this guy talking about Web3 games and NFTs on the blockchain. Before that, I really didn't have much experience in this space. So I went home, I dived in, started off with a game called Axie Infinity, and really just jumped in, started streaming it, playing the game, got addicted to Web3 gaming in general. And yeah, that's my origin story. So here we are now, getting ready to play EV.io and compete against some nutty gamers. But yeah, that's how I got into Web3 gaming back in April of last year. Question 3. What are you most excited for in the EV.io? Question 3. What are you most excited for in EV.io besides the Fractal map? Well, I'm going to say the Fractal map is fire. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty fire. But, being somebody that comes from initially Web2 gaming in the FPS scene, I'm excited to see the different gamers that, play the game. I'm excited to see the ecosystem that gets built around this amazing game. And so far, so good. We're seeing so many new players, so many different types. So I want to see the ecosystem of competitive that continues to be built. It starts with tournaments like this. It starts with looking at what's happening in Fractal Gaming, looking at what's happening with the EV.io team and how they are cultivating this competitive scene. It's only going to get bigger and better. So I'm super excited for the support that they've been giving out. And that's, where it all boils down to. EV.io, I think it has a long and bright future. So I'm excited to be a part of it. Question 4, what can we expect from you and your team in the upcoming tournament? To be quite honest, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have no clue what you can expect. We are all hardcore gamers, Valorant, CSGO, everything in between. But, we're stepping into a new realm. We got to gel again. We got to figure out a way to find that chemistry. And hopefully it doesn't take us a couple of rounds to do that because you don't have a couple of rounds. You got to come out and you got to bring your A game instantly. So I'm hoping that I can, carry my slack alongside my homies and we can do pretty well. We got a squad, but we're expecting to come out and we're expecting to win the tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we expect to be the best. And even if we don't have it, gelling in the first couple of rounds, we got to make it happen. So I'm not going to set the expectations too high, but our intentions definitely are to come in with the mindset that we're going to win the tournament. And I'm keeping my eyes on all of you. Last word. Shout out your team. Last question. So lastly, I want to give a big shout out to the two guys that I'm competing with. I've known these guys for over 10 years in gaming. 10 years. Stein, AJL, and Cairo on Twitter. You guys are awesome. Excited to play alongside you under the team name If We Lose This, We Are Washed. And also a big shout out to my mother and father. They were supporting my gaming career way back in the day when I was playing Madden on, the Xbox 360. My mother would drive me up and down the East Coast to play in these different Madden tournaments and gaming tournaments and Call of Duty tournaments. So it's excited to be back at it, excited to be in Web3 gaming. And I think we all have a bright future ahead. So again, shout out. And lastly, again, big thank you to Community Gaming for hosting the tournament. Thank you to Fractal. Thank you to EV.io for putting on an amazing tournament. And as always, guys, become the impossible.
I've lost count of how many desolate rocks I've found this week. But I know something great is out there, and I'll be damned if someone finds it before me. We're all just wanderers. Right now, anyway. Trying to find a way out of the shadows and into the light of the road star.
You can stop at 5 or 6
NFT Marketplace.
or just 1. I don't need friends. They disappoint me.
Hi, I'm Todd LaRue. You could stop at 5 or 6
NFT Marketplace.
or just 1. I feel like a deer in the headlights of love.
You could stop at 5 or 6
NFT Marketplace.
or just 1. Can I ask you kind of a weird question?
Hi, I'm Justin Kahn, one of the founders of Fractal. Previously, I co-founded a small up-and-coming underground live streaming platform called Twitch. Twitch changed everything. Aside from bringing the world hot tub streams, poggers, chat, and epic gamer moments, it also unlocked an entire industry for gaming content. No one saw it coming. We've come pretty far since I strapped a camera to my head and live streamed my life. Well, maybe not that far. Games are growing bigger and faster than ever thanks to in-game assets like cosmetic skins and items. Last year, developers generated over 35 billion in microtransactions alone. But what if I told you that gaming NFTs are going to be way, way bigger? What if I told you that the power of Web3 is going to unlock the gaming economy on a scale we've never seen before? What if you could tell your mom that all the hours you spent grinding mounts in WoW aren't a waste of your life, and have that actually be true? That's why we built Fractal. Because at the end of the day, we're all gaming and crypto degens. I'm here to answer one question. What the fuck is Fractal? Tighten your chin straps. I'm about to take you on a magical journey through the Fractalverse, through our marketplace, launchpad, and Discord server. Fractal is the premier NFT marketplace for gaming NFTs. What makes Fractal so special is that we're laser focused on building for games and their biggest fans. We're currently on the Solana blockchain, but we'll be looking to expand to other chains pretty soon, so keep watching the space. On our homepage, you'll be able to see information about upcoming mints, playable demos, trending games, and recent sales on the marketplace. Browse through the games we partner with in the Games tab. You'll be able to explore all available listings, sort by price, attributes, rarity, and more filters. Sort from low to high if you're a pleb, and sort from high to low if you're a baller. Sort by rarity, and then cry when you realize you can't afford that mythic item. It's important to do your research before purchasing any assets. Make sure that it's a project, founding team, and vision that you actually want to support. Now this is where the minting magic happens. The Fractal Launchpad is where we directly help games launch their mints. You can think of it like Kickstarter for Web3 games. This is how fans, that's you guys, can support games in fulfilling their vision while getting early access to assets that will be usable in games when they launch. You can view current and following mints, whitelist requirements, remaining supply, and information about projects and their teams. Once the mint countdown timer reaches 0, and provided that you're holding the right whitelist token, you'll be able to participate in the mint. When all the mints run out, you'll be able to sell your NFT on the secondary market. The Fractal NFTs are a collection of 100,000 uniquely generated snowflakes floating around the metaverse. These NFTs are going to have a ton of benefits on the Fractal marketplace, the community, as well as eventually in games when developers start building them into their games. There's a ton more information about the Fractal NFT, including factions, power levels, hidden attributes, and more at nft.fractal.is. We'll talk more about the community benefits of Fractal in a second. We can't wait for Fractal NFTs to unlock their true potential as games start kicking off and building on top of them. Now let's head over to the Fractal Discord server. This is the home of the Fractal community, our very own special snowflakes. Here's where we built a tight-knit community for gaming and blockchain enthusiasts from all over the world, aka the world's biggest ape sanctuary. So why should you join? Our Discord members get early access to updates, announcements, and alpha from the Fractal team, access to discussion channels about a variety of topics, and updates on project mints. If you're a VIP, which means you're holding a Fractal NFT and have verified in our server, you'll be eligible for exclusive giveaways, admission to events with famous guest speakers, AMAs, participation in community gaming tournaments, whitelists for mints, and much, much more. Note that some events will be exclusive for higher faction Fractal holders. Lastly, if you've been following us on Twitter at FractalWagMe, you might have come across a hashtag proof of Justin. And if you're not following us on Twitter, you're not going to make it. A proof of Justin is a guaranteed stamp of approval from the Fractal team that the information released is genuine. Whenever we push a big update, announce a new mint, or launch a new community event, it will be accompanied by a short video of me while the Fractal team holds a gun to my head and makes me read off a prepared script. Please help me. Remember, if you didn't hear it from me, it's probably not true. So that's it. This has been your Fractal walkthrough. Make sure you watch this every night before you go to bed and pray to the crypto gods for alpha. Go check out our site now at fractal.is and join our Discord server to start exploring the gaming metaverse. And one more thing, make sure to type out the URL fractal.is. Don't click any links or embeds, even if they look similar. And if you don't know how to spell fractal, well, you're not going to make it. I'll see you there.
Hello everyone, it's good to be back. Day 2 of the Fractal Cup for EV.io. My name is Keg and I'm joined by Jim once again, and we're so excited to see as we get ever closer to the grand finals who can make it out of the depths of the elimination bracket to meet up against Censored in the very final matchup of the day. But we're not at the final matchup yet, Jim. We still have to go through the lower bracket.
Yeah, the depths is correct. We've seen some insane gameplay from teams that have gotten exponentially better across the weekend. And of course, today, yeah, our top 8, and we're nearing the end, man. I want to say we're going to go into our lower third round match here. And, you know, after that, we'll have our lower finals leading into the grand finals. So, of course, a lot of hype, and everyone here is playing for their share of $10,000. Keg, this would not be possible without our great sponsors, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's so many people to thank, right? We have to thank Community Gaming for helping us out, Fractal as a whole being a really cool tournament, but, you know, with our sponsors and everything, we probably should describe, too, what, like, Fractal is, right, as a tournament, because there's a lot of new people in here who might not know exactly what we're about to look at. So, the Fractal Cup is brought to you by Fractal.is. Fractal's a marketplace for gaming NFTs, which are durable assets that let you do something inside the gaming universe. Now, Fractal's mission is to create an open platform for a free exchange of digital goods. They do this by partnering with the best of the gaming companies, such as the sponsors, launching NFTs, and building tools to help them reach their customers at that scale. And we talked about this before going into the game last time, but you're going to see a lot of scale when it comes to going inside the game, because the map is huge.
Yeah, the map is huge. The scope of the game itself is massive. And of course, if you haven't seen any of the matches yet, imagine something as a mix between Halo Infinite, Overwatch, arena FPSs of yore, and man, you've got a title for sure. Speaking of the title, it is EV.io. It's browser-based. It's a free-to-play, play-to-earn first-person shooter with over 15 different maps, 20 different weapons, 5 game modes, and like I said earlier, tight and precise gunplay. What makes it unique, though, is that every time you actually get a kill in the game, you will receive some Solana. So you can head on over to EV.io to start playing, and they're actually having their very first mint for their NFT collection on May 11th on the Fractal launchpad. And of course, the game itself is made by one of the titans in the web gaming industry. It's Addicting Games. Everybody knows them. And if you don't, you're not going to make it. As Justin said himself. I do hope he's doing okay, because he did say that there was a gun to his head, and, you know, he's being forced to say all those things. So obviously he's kidding, but we're super excited to have you all here today. And of course, this game has been awesome. The tournament's been great. And shout out to everyone for coming out and watching today, because we are getting ready to hop into one of the lower round matches before we culminate in our grand finals today, where everyone's competing for $10,000 around the globe. Keg, it's going to be nuts.
Absolutely nuts. And what a better team set to have here besides, or with NFT Screenshotters and Xborg Telos. Now, we saw a lot of Xborg Telos yesterday, and they did a fantastic job, but they started off on the wrong foot today, and they found themselves into the lower bracket. But again, if either one of these teams can make it through, they have a chance of going up to the grand finals against Censored, a team who's been flawless this entire tournament, to see if they have a chance at that lion's share of the 10,000. But now, look at all of this immediately that started out. NFT Screenshotters, they're starting with a dominant lead. They're up 3 kills over Telos, but that being said, though, all that movement coming into play, Bumsu's ready and prepared for these opening engagements until he goes down.
You really like to see it. Of course, the NFT Screenshotters doing something a little different than we've seen all day, right? Telos, we've seen them usually stick to the rifles and just take that machine gun approach, with someone usually using that Sheriff, that Deagle from distance. NFT Screenshotters, on the other hand, they've got burst rifles across the board, so they're ready to take long-range fights, and if it gets too close, they might find themselves in a sticky situation. At this point in the game, though, 1 minute in, the NFT Screenshotters are in the lead 6-4, and it's a much slower game than we've seen previously.
It's slower. There's a lot of fear on the line. It's not quite the upper bracket anymore. If anyone goes down 0-2 against the other team, they're out of the tournament entirely. But that being said, though, NFT Screenshotters, they're ahead by 3. Things are looking good. That movement, Jim, you mentioned it yourself. It's doing very, very slow works. There's not a lot of grenade jumping this time around. It's all about huddling together, playing off each other, that coordination, and making sure that everyone knows their proper roles. But look at the push up here from Xborg Telos, though. They're going to be intending to go in for the leftmost side. They go up above in the safety zone for NFT Screenshotters, but safety no longer. Bumsu, though, good for the double kill. Wipes away Xborg Telos. And that aggressive push doesn't seem to be working out.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned it. They were ready. The NFT Screenshotters had their mind set up. They had a smoke grenade as well. So as much as Telos were coming in at a very high rate of speed, the Screenshotters were ready to click away, and click away they did, finding 3 in a row there. And Bumsu with his friend Dax, good for 3 once again. NFT Screenshotters opening up that lead 13-8.
Yeah, you gotta really like NFT Screenshotters right now. They're doing such a great job taking that lead and running away with it, really opening up that gap against Xborg. It's a 5-kill differential once again, but the whole strategy that Xborg have been bringing out is that they're pushing into NFT Screenshotters. That's what NFT Screenshotters want to have happen. They've set themselves up. They're going for some early pop shots. Some hit scan does affect Lexi quite a bit, but Lexi's forced to back off. Does allow more time for Alguy to get some more HP. Tries to go for some pop shots again, but looks like that doesn't quite work out. Bumsu finally ends that final blow onto Lexi, and with 2 or 1 already gone for Xborg, they're not able to go for a full frontal aggressive assault, but they're gonna try regardless, though. They push in, and KQ instantly goes down. Raphael not too far afterwards, and Bumsu and Dax again really holding the line.
Yeah, definitely a little awkward. I think you mentioned it yourself. I'm not sure what the point of that fight was, other than to feed them 3 more kills, but the NFT Screenshotters are gonna take it. The impulse coming out from the top, trying to close this gap. They do find 1. Lexi, good for 2. That's a great outcome there. 18-11, Telos only trailing by 7. It's still anybody's game, as we've got 4:45 left on the clock. And the coolest thing about this title is, as you're seeing, there's movement tech, there's hit scan, there's projectiles with the grenade launcher and the rocket launcher, and there's a lot going on. So if you can hit your shots, you can start earning Solana right now. So that's the value of the game itself. 21-14, NFT Screenshot is still at a 7-kill lead, going from above. I like the high-low that they got set up here, but do they find any value with it? And it's going to stay a 7-kill lead as they trade back and forth.
You know, they say this is an arena shooter, but this is an arena, of course. It's like a big gladiator area between the two teams. The whole giant map all condensed down to this small area. Now, there is some teleport action with Owl Guy. He's going to move over to the leftmost side of where a lot of NFT screenshotters have set themselves up. But actually, now it's back into the base of Export Telos. This is the safety zone that NFT screenshotters, they were playing defensive on for so long. And I'm wondering now with the smoke grenades, Explorers are looking for some pop shots, but they're not connecting to any bodies whatsoever. But there's no information at all about where NFT screenshoters could be. Even the sniper scope of Lexi struggling to find any presence. There's a rough idea, but there we go. The appearance of one. The shot's not going to connect, though. And Lexi's forced to back off.
And I like what we're seeing here, too. That slowdown with the smoke grenade, instead of just being captivated by the smoke and staring endlessly into it like all my teammates would obviously opt to do, they went for the resources. They had that little bit of downtime. Bumsu, unfortunately, will die to his own recklessness, but you love to see it. And in that moment, the NFT screenshotters closing that gap. I mean, rather, Export closing that gap, finding one, Lexi closing it, and now it's a 2-kill game. It's a 1-kill game. This 3-man hit squad, Raphael, Lexi, and KQ looking to tie things up with 3 minutes on the clock. This is a low kill game because these two teams are playing tactically. They're using the smokes, getting the resources, and getting to the places they need to be before the enemy team. Let's watch how this plays out, kid.
Now, there's nothing wrong with a low kill game. The issue is, though, with that timer going down, you need to get 50 kills in order to win as a team. And with the score being so close, that might mean we could very well end with a tie, Jim. And if we end with a tie, the points don't go to either team. It's a replay again. So even if it's a best of 3, there's still a chance we could see 4 or maybe even 5 games this series, depending on how it goes. And with it being even again, it's like, you know, it might seem impossible to have an even game, but we had one yesterday. In fact, we had 2 yesterday to nearly make it a tie. Now,
Yeah, the big thing here too is as we're now nearing 25-24, the NFT screenshotters could just slow it down completely, but this is such a stark contrast, right? From what censored, they're really frag heavy. They were just running and DMing, really death matching in this arena shooter, showing off their skills 24/7 left and right with their split composition. The screenshotters, on the other hand, they've got the lead. All they want to do is hunker down now, but Telos not going to make that easy. Impulsing from the top, using that blink to get up to the high ground, but the screenshotters still coming out on top. They are separating the competition and picking them apart, leading this fight at 3 kills.
I love the usage of the smoke grenades from NFT screenshotters. They're able to clear out and deny so much space around Export Telos that they have no room to maneuver. And now because of the resets being odd from Export's side, it's going to make things difficult for them to push as a team. The coordination's not as much there as it was at the beginning of this game, and while Lexi and KQ are together, it's going to be the roundabout here from Raphael to team up with the team to see if they can push and go as a full squad against another squad. But again, those smoke grenades, keep an eye on them. You have to push through into it. There's mines on the other side. You can't see them inside the smoke. You might be pushing into certain death. Though we do get to see them rotate around from the smoke grenades, they could be going directly into the fly trap of NFT screenshotters. Up on this hill, Jim. This is what
It's really scary here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes me super nervous because Telos was able to pick up the sniper and they took the fight to the screenshotters, picked up 3 in a row, tying things up with 50 seconds left on the clock. And of course, they're going to need 16 frags or they're going to need to run that timer down if we're going to get a victor here today. So with time ticking, who's going to be the first team to make a move? You can be aggressive, you can get on the enemy, but if you do, you have to find the frags. Otherwise, we're going to see what the screenshotters do in that scenario. Sit back, let them fall into the mines, and see how it plays out. 30 seconds left on the clock. Who's going to be the first person to make a move here?
And you mentioned it yourself. This is not house censored. Already guaranteed for grand finals. Play the game at all. This is tactical. This is slow. Something unlike you never see for an arena shooter. 16 seconds left and 1 kill is needed to see who can win game number 1. Now the fury is there with 10 seconds left. Now someone's gonna make a move. Who's the first to go down? It's Export Telos to take not 1 but 2. But NFT screenshotters in reverse find another, but it's far too late. 0 hits the clock. And Export Telos seemingly out of nowhere nearly get a squad wipe to win out the first of the lower bracket.
Yeah, just like that, Telos find a shot with that hand cannon, and if you do find a headshot with it, it's a one-shot kill no matter where you are on the map. So their patience paying off, and in that 1 split second, the screenshotters had to try and close that gap onto Telos, who were just ready and waiting. They had 2 members of the team on the screenshotters. Of course, pushing into a group of 3 is gonna go poorly, and Export Telos coming out on top there in our first game. Over 2 kills, really. That was really it. Like, it was close. And like you had mentioned before too, Censored playing such a different pace of game. How is it going to be when either of these teams make it out of here into the grand finals? How are they going to face off against something of a titan that Censored are? I'm not sure how it's going to go, but wow, what a different game that we saw, and what a close finish to our first round here.
I really wish I could tell you how it could go against Censored, but the thing is, either one of these teams have a great chance of going up against Censored. Both teams play incredibly similarly that at times it's hard to tell who's who, right? Because it was 34-34 right in the final minute of that game, and all it took was a simple little risk from both teams to see who could push up there. And now that both teams know generally their kind of their waves of ocean, like how they want to play in certain times of the game, we could very well see an aggressive start to finish from one of these teams to deny that kind of safety precaution that we had seen a lot of these teams play at the very end.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I wonder too, going into this longer game, because this is a best of 3, right? And we're already in the lower bracket. The grand finals will be a BO5. They have some sort of opportunity here, right? On the screenshotter side, you had the lead for a lot of that game and only just lost grip of it at the very end. How do you change that now, right? Maybe you go more aggressive towards the end of that second match to try and close it out because you know you have the gun ability. Can you keep up the momentum and stay consistent? That's really the key, because it's an endurance sport at the end of the day, and endure is what they're going to have to do if they want any chance against the best of the best that we have running in our tournament today. So, you know, we're going to have to see how they play it out in this second round. But Keg, I can't even expect anything else, because it's such a different pace of game that we're seeing, and there's so many possibilities for how you want to approach this as a team.
I'm glad you mentioned possibilities, because there's one big core difference. I said that it was a little hard to tell towards the very end who was who, but in the mid-game, we saw all those smoke grenades come out from NFT screenshotters, and that really changed the pacing of a lot of different things. I guarantee you, as we go into the second map, that we're going to see that one more time, all the smoke grenades denying that space away from each other for so long. But again, if you can control the majority of the map in that style, is it really that different from how Censored played only, like, what, half an hour ago?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we are in our third round of our lower bracket. Past this, we'll be heading into the lower finals, into the grand finals, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, if you want to get in on the action, head on over to ev.io, get in on the TDM action, start grinding, because we're going to be doing a lot of these tournaments as well. And if you want to join our gaming community co-founded by the founder of Twitch, Justin Can, hit !Discord, and we can get you situated and where you want to be. So of course, after this BO3 is over, we'll be heading into round 4 of the lower bracket, past that into the finals. And so we've got a stacked evening of competition for you as the NFT screenshotters start this second game with a 3-0 lead.
I know, it's already a good start from NFT screenshotters. Xborg, though, they were a little slow in the beginning and early games too about finding their impact with these kills. And we do get to see a bit of a setup here from Xborg Telos. All playing together. Early launching, though. Good setup for the execution. Goes behind the sides.
Oh.
There we go. We saw the same exact area be a Gladiator Arena last game, but can that happen again? It's a full wipe. Xborg Telos, they attempted to go for these plays so many different times in the last game, but it finally worked out until Alguy comes by and eliminates 2.
Yeah, Dax now looking for a 5th here, finds 6. Alguy finds 1 as well. It's so back and forth at this beginning part, but the key thing that we want to mention is that there have been some weapon swaps, right? On the Telos side, we're seeing more burst rifles overall, but NFT screenshotters are going to stick to their guns and stick to those hand cannons, because my, oh my, they do damage. And if you can land that headshot, if you can aim, you will be rewarded for it. Now, watching this hallway, right, we just keep seeing this area get smoked over and over again, and it's a really important choke point, because right outside of that hallway is that power-up weapon. And so obviously the power-up weapons are stronger than the weapons you spawn in with, so you want to try to control these resource points across the map. Now we see different teams playing it differently, and some just have no regard for their life as he impulses in. Raphael finds 2, and Xborg Telos take the lead just momentarily over the screenshotters.
Xborg have really stepped up their coordination game from the ending of last to now. They are looking so much more together when it comes to tradability and just working off each other for those gunfights. Now, this is the safety zone that we had seen NFT screenshotters use quite a bit in that first match. It seems like they've been forced off already. Smoke grenades are out. We talked about the spacing, and watch out. You can even shoot through the smokes to see, maybe even find a rogue shot and some damage on the other side, but it's a little unlikely. That's not going to stop Xborg Telos, though, from attempting to do so. The smoke goes underway. Got to keep an eye on Bumsu here. May have the chance to go for a very small but hidden flank. Well, it seems like Bumsu's just biding his time, though. Gonna go under.
Yeah.
Could be good to find Raphael, but he keeps jetting around. He keeps teleporting. He could be anywhere. He's a mirage, but up in the sky, it's Lexi instead. And they take down Bumsu in the process. A double kill, no less, for the Green Warrior.
Lexi just showing off a little bit too, you know, really hitting that Quake mechanic. If you've got all the weapons, you can keep switching between them. It's always faster than reloading, and you saw it with a hand cannon, taking a couple of shots, switching over to that rifle, finding one, and then switching over to that mine, tossing it, and finding an explosive kill. You'll love to see it. Telos opening up that lead to 3 kills here, 19-16, with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. The screenshotters, though, they always take this back area because it's outside that hallway, outside that resource that you want, that power-up weapon, plus you have access to the higher ground, which also serves as some sort of barricade on the other side of the map where that portal is located. So map control, resource control, all important things, and like we're seeing once again from that first round, a slower overall map.
Yeah, that position on Fractal is really, really strong for any team to hold, because if you use the smoke grenades to the left like they have been, you could only have a funnel as a team that's not in that small area to push in directly in these long lines of sight, and more likely than not, you're going to see a lot of sniper action too. But Bumsu is actually going to relegate that position away, and so is the rest of Xborg Telos. They move away and they go for the gunfights again, so close to tying it up, so much so that they actually do. 20-20 with 4 minutes left. I'm noticing a pattern, Jim. Almost
I
the
love
same
to see
exact
it.
score line as game number 1, isn't it?
I'm so excited, man. And like so far, we've been seeing Lexi mid-air tearing it up, finding 3Ks back to back to back. Now we need the rest of Xborg Telos to step up, and if they can, screenshotters might just be history, man.
It's been a while, though. A whole 20 seconds without a kill. Xborg Telos going to release the dam, gush out water a little bit more for 3 kills of Lexi, and that's going to be a squad wipe, at least for now. Though they do respawn fairly quickly. Again, that strong position. Keep an eye on that. The smoke grenades to the left. You have a long line of sight towards the front. You have to blast pack your way in with all those grenades and try to get onto the site. But no, Raphael, another one to wipe away all of NFT screenshotters. And it's a barricade. The NFT just have not been able to break yet.
Yeah, that 3D positioning from the side of Telos is so good. Playing around that obstacle, if the team of NFT screenshotters comes impulsing in, comes flying in with their rockets, all you have to do is split and then they can't deal with you. Xborg Telos, realizing this, keep exploiting that fact, and man, if they can keep this up, the screenshotters might be in a lot of trouble. Now, trying to take a lot of shots from afar with that burst rifle, Algai trying to secure some resources as well. What you want to do is make sure that you know the timers for those respawns down to muscle memory, so that you can already be there before it spawns to pick it up as soon as it comes up. Hand cannon, tries to get it, but is denied by Dax, and that's exactly what we mean. Control of these resources is gonna be important. Raphael finds another 32-24, 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock.
And for the majority of the first match, it was NFT screenshotters who had this little crevice area all to themselves, and it was Xborg Telos who had to force their way in and go for the attack. We never really got to see NFT screenshotters go for those forward attacks so often, but this game, we're seeing why they didn't want to go for it. They've been struggling on these aggressive entries so much, and it allows much more defense for Xborg Telos to play around with. 37-27 though, the biggest lead we've seen so far for Xborg this entire match. We'll have to see though what the pushing could be for NFT screenshotters once again. They're struggling to push their way in, but there is one of a bot that does get by. It's Dax, but he's not good for any. It's Lexi again to melt them all down.
Lexi again to beat them all down, man, and it just blows my mind. The pace of this game is so much more methodical, but Xborg Telos found that opening in NFT screenshotters defense and their offense, and really they've got their foothold and they are climbing up this ladder. 44-29 with 1:20 seconds left on the clock. Xborg Telos are looking clean and their team play is on point too, but Censored is a beast all in their own, waiting in the grand finals. It's giving me David and Goliath vibes, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely. But let's see who's David, who's Goliath. We may not know yet. NFT screenshotters, there could be a remote chance to bring it back. It'll be a daunting task to say the very least, but it's possible. But with less than a minute left on the clock, NFT Screenshotters, the door is slowly closing. It's a best of 3, and they've already lost the first match at Export Telos. They're looking good and make their way slowly but surely closer to the grand finals.
Yeah, here we go. Impulse off the top here, down onto Alakai. Great shots. Finds Dax with the help of his teammate Lex. Great return there, and that is 50, ladies and gents. Export Telos with a quick 2-0 over the NFT Screenshotters in our lower round 3 match. And of course, they'll be proceeding, and just like that, the NFT Screenshotters are out of the tournament. It was a double elim run, and of course, they made it all the way to top 8 and all the way here. But unfortunately, that's the end of their run as Export Telos look to secure their place in history in Fractal's EVIO Cup for $10,000, man.
It's getting closer and closer. And yeah, I mean, at the very end, it was NFT Screenshotters who kind of fizzled out. They were looking so strong in the beginning. Both the early game and the mid games that we had seen in both of those matches, they looked fantastic. But Export Telos, again, whether it be adaptability or what have you, they were able to push in and they found that defensive hold for the entirety of that second game, and they never let go. Again, NFT Screenshotters, they looked so good, but their one weakness was that their aggressive attacks never quite worked out.
Yeah, and really just such a great presence of mind. When you talk about winning in esports, you need to be able to adapt, right? You talked about it. That first game, it took so long for Screenshotters to gain some sort of momentum. Like, they had the lead early, but then to keep it up was so hard. And of course, Telos snuck in there at the very end, found it, and then in the second game just ripped them wide open. And man, the difference was night and day. So can they keep it up as they go into round 4? But of course, we are going to hit a quick break as we get our players locked and loaded and ready to rumble in our round 4 of the lower bracket. And then from there, we'll be proceeding into the finals and the grand finals. So we've got a lot of action ready for you all. But with that said, we're going to take a short break and we'll see you right after.
I think there's a profound and enduring beauty in simplicity, in clarity. When we think of the Fractal F, it's so much more than just a pink F. It's a remarkable visual design achievement. I think it truly represents a complete revolution in the way a company's story can be encapsulated in such a small but impactful way. Every detail was specifically engineered to bring the vision of Fractal to life. Everything from the shade of pink to the boldness of the lettering took us months of laborious work. We worked intensely with some of the most talented visual design minds from all over the world in order to even have a chance to pull off this ambitious feat. The result is something with a degree of elegance, beauty, and robustness that even we never dreamed of. One of the things we're most proud of here at Fractal is our immaculate attention to detail, no matter how subtle. For example, you may not have noticed that the F in the logo actually stands for Fractal. And I think that's just one of the many absolutely brilliant little details that often goes underappreciated. But we don't do things for clout. We do things because they matter. Despite everyone telling us it couldn't be done, we persevered and managed to pull it off. Fractal is all about letting quality speak for itself and pushing beyond the limits of what we thought was possible. What we achieved here, I don't think anyone has really done before. This is what Web3 is all about, and we're leading the charge. Okay. Pretty good?
Yes, you really deadpan the good ones that matter.
Right.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Fractal Cup. Again, my name is Keg. I'm joined by Jim. We're going to see again who can make it through and maybe challenge Censored in the grand finals. But before we get to the grand finals, we have to see for the lower bracket finals to see between who can win, between Export Telos and Krunkage, who can win. But you're probably wondering how this can all come to be and what makes EVE.io a little bit different from other games. And let me tell you, it's all about that minting. So, EVE.io is a play-to-earn ability shooter made by one of the most respected games in web gaming, that being Addicting Games. Now, EVE.io is minting its first NFT collection on the Fractal launchpad on May 11th. And if you want to find out more about it, you can go to fractal.is/EV. So, even if the tournament does have to end today, that doesn't mean the Fractal action has to stop now. You still have until the 11th to have all that Fractal fun, and of course, even beyond that, too.
Yeah, lots of great stuff happening, and of course, get active in the Twitch chat, hit that exclamation point giveaway, hit exclamation point Discord if you want a home of friends and family. You know, we're all about the big Fs here. You know, if we can get more Fs in the chat, honestly, it would probably make Justin and I a very happy person. So, Fs in the chat, please. But yeah, there's a lot of potential here, and of course, if you've ever played a game like Halo Infinite, any of these arena FPS shooters like Quake and Overwatch, this combines all the crazy movement abilities with the hit scan and projectile prowess that you might seek in a good FPS, and it puts them into a free-to-play browser-based game, so you can access it pretty much anywhere and start earning today. So lots of fun stuff, and of course everyone here today is competing for their shot at $10,000 on a global scale, Keg. And with that, we do have our lower finals ready to rock, so let's head on into the game itself.
Let's see it happen here. I'm excited to see between both teams, especially Krunkage, right? Krunkage had an interesting history in day 2 of the tournament. Now, to recall a little bit and back ourselves up, day 1 didn't have an elimination bracket. If you lost out at all in day 1, you were out of the tournament. Krunkage and everybody else made their way through, but Krunkage went up against Censored, already good for the grand final slot, and lost out that opportunity to already be in grand finals. So Krunkage now, if they can win out against Export Telos, they can go for some revenge against Censored again for the grand finals. But Export Telos, they've been in the depths for a little while. They've been making their way through, and again, they could have their chance to play Censored for the first time if they can win out against Krunkage.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on here, and of course, just to give you guys some background, like you mentioned, Krunkage went up against the person in the grand final, or the team rather, the entity in the grand finals in Censored, and took them really to the brink of defeat, only losing out by a couple of points. Krunkage really like playing this much more aggressive and quick play style, but Telos, right? We've been seeing them rock their way up to the lower bracket, and great shot there from Lex, finding great damage, another frag there with the mine as well, but the main difference between these two squads is Telos really likes this slower playstyle. They are way more tactical with their shots, whereas Krunkage thrives in the chaos, and that's what they're trying to set up here. But Telos holding their ground, holding this back area of the map, come out on top 10-6 in this first huge skirmish of this map.
I love the defensive hold that Export Telos have gone through, and it shows the gears are turning in their heads. We didn't see this defensive hold at all in the first game between themselves and NFT Screenshotters, but it was that adaptation towards the very end of that first game and the entirety of that second game that not only allowed Export Telos to move on to face Krunkage, but now they have a pretty distinctive lead over the team, too. You said they thrive in the chaos, and they most certainly do from Krunkage, but Export Telos, they seem to be good about shutting it down if Krunkage has to go to their own territory.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing here. If you can control the pace of the game, you're gonna win. Telos, they've been playing their game, and they've made it a 3-kill game overall, 15-12. That gap got closed quick by Krunkage, but that's the thing we need to watch out for, right? Krunkage, they love having this hitman, this marksman play from afar, and then sending their two devastating, the duo of destruction. They love sending them flying across the map, and control of this back area of the map is essential, right? But just like that, that's a team wipe for Telos as they catch them with a mine, the rifle, and another hand cannon from the back. 18-12 with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, we can see Krunkage going in for that aggressive push again, pushing in one by one, and they got a full squad wipe in the process. I was a little nervous at first because the Export Telos have been such good job at holding that specific part of the map, forcing Krunkage to push in, but now that they're able to find a lot more fragability, especially from Eskaj, really nice to close that gap again. 18-17, 5 minutes left on the counter. Now again, the best of 3, they're still guaranteed one more match after this, but who goes away with a 1-1 or maybe even a 2-0 win here is yet to be seen. 18-18 though. Pushing around for the back part of the map. Frags everywhere going through, but Raphael good for one, but it gets traded out by Eskej immediately. And now Krunkage for the first time, they've taken the lead for themselves, and they're trying to take that defensive hold in that special little spot very quickly.
Yeah, that spot is so good. Naramino coming down from the heavens. Yeah, he's providing a great distraction there. It is our chance. 25-19, just like that, man.
What do we call it? The 25-19 spot?
Yeah, maybe. Like, just coming down from the heavens, providing a great distraction, allowing the rest of his teammates to just blow him up, but just like that, gets stuck between a rock and an explosive spot, eats a nade to the face. Raphael picks up another with a mine, and it's a 5-kill game just like that. Krunkage, though, they're trying to speed things up, but mines everywhere. Telos taking up slowly at 22.
Oh, and look at the position now from Xborg, forced near the teleporter. They have a long range of sight they have to push into to get into the 25-19 spot against Krunkage. But Krunkage, though, they're still in that 3-point lead. They've moved away from the newly named 25-19 spot, and they're actually playing around it, baiting in Xborg Talos for the push. I really like this strategy, and it's not something we've seen just yet. Now, in the last series, we had seen a lot more smoke grenades come down to deny space. That's not the case. It's all just a gunfight diff this time around, and Lexi goes in, attempts to make some action happen, and attempts to make it to a success. That's a double kill from Lexi there before being traded out by Naramino, but Naramino gets reckless instead, but at least a double kill before they go down.
Yeah, this spot you always see contested because it gives you cover, it gives you high ground, and you can play around it, right? If you've got the spatial awareness, you can just do, like, ring around the rosy for days. And now Raphael gets on out of there. It's a 2-kill game. Krunkage trying to set something up, but they do lose this is where you want to be, right? This is the good place. This is the best place on this map. Telos know that. They've secured it once again, and it's a 1-kill game. One shot from a hand cannon and one shot from a deagle, just like that from Eskej, who we know is a marksman for the side of Krunkage, can change things in the blink of an eye. Now, still 2 kills, 3 now separating Krunkage and Telos. How do they play this one out? All they need to do is keep this lead, or they could turn up the aggression and just dunk on them until the end.
There's a lot of different options here that either team could bring through to try to either take that lead away from Krunkage or at least tie it up. The issue is, though, is that whatever the next play can be from either team, it's going to reveal a lot for the rest of the series. 34-36 now. Xborg Talos, they had the lead in the beginning, but now they're trailing behind, but only by 3. They keep losing out these numbers quite a bit, but in that mid zone, we do see Eskej only attempting for one. Mep finds another instead. KQ goes down, and now on the verge of 40. Krunkage only need 10 more to bring it home.
Keeping their distance now, portal to portal. KQ closes it, double blinks right in front of his face, and finds Eskej with his, pants down, honestly. He was not ready for that fight, and now KQ picks up 2 there. Eskej trying to do some damage from afar, but the mine from KQ finds a 3rd in a row. Telos closing that gap so quick, man, and Krunkage, they don't have a moment to feel secure. And right here, Eskej has got to get into a spot where he can do some damage. That's where he's useful, and that's what his team needs him to do. He needs to get these pot shots off so that Naramino and the rest of the squad can close the distance, but Krunkage and Naramino doing great damage here overall, zoning out the enemy team and trying to close the gap onto that backside. Naramino into their back line, finds one. Eskej follows up for the second. They do get traded back, but Krunkage leading by 5 with a minute left on the clock.
1 minute left, Jim. And there's a 5-kill differential from Krunkage. Usually teams like to slow down from here, but that full frontal assault that Krunkage loves to go for is working out now. 3 left that they need in the next minute. Already, though, it needs to be 6 to tie it up and reset the entire series, but no, that's not going to happen, it seems. There is plenty of opportunities left, though, as we see the jumps high up into the sky. Another blast could come by, but no, instead, it's M2 playing marksman, long range, takes down Lexi, and with only 2 kills left to potentially need, KQ darts away, and it's gonna be down to this. Krunkage, it seems like they had the victory locked in, but they want to ensure it with that big, juicy 50. They're at 49. They could get only one more at the squad fight. All the more likely to close it out here, and they most certainly do. Krunkage are good for 1, and are a step closer to going against Censored again.
Yeah, a scrap to say the least. That was back and forth. Krunkage finding it in themselves, though, to come out on top with a lead of 6 kills there by the end. And as you can see on the scoreboard, not such crazy KDs, right? That was scrappy all the way through. We're accustomed to seeing 4 KDs coming out from teams like Censored, but in this one and in the matches leading up to the grand finals, things are scrappy. The skill difference is not that high, and really it's anybody's game. So Krunkage finally putting themselves on the board, man. This is going to be great to see if they can really close it out all the way.
I gotta say though, the adaptation for Krunkage just to play even more aggressive than before isn't something we've seen from any other team, or at least successfully work for any other team. But we're not gonna waste your time with our pretty faces. We're gonna go straight into map number 2 and see what adaptation Export Telos can bring, because they need to have one if they want to stay in this series and in a tournament too.
Absolutely. And speaking of not wasting time, EV.io. This is the game that is being played. It's a play-to-earn ability shooter made by one of the most respected names in web gaming and addicting games. They also are minting their first NFT collection on the Fractal Launchpad on May 11th. That's in 3 days. Of course, if you want to learn more, head on over to fractal.is/EV and type in !Discord if you want a lot of friends as well. So now let's head back into the game. Krunkage leading 4-2, already way slow, not even opting to go through that teleporter and chase, and instead playing the map positioning because SCage, of course, wants to try and take it, but gets shut down for his efforts.
Yeah, this is looking a lot more loose from Krunkage's side. Even if they're now losing by 1, they were playing so much more spread out. They were feeling good about those pincers and taking down the rotates from Export Telos, but that's not working at all. Export Telos are doing, well, Export Telos' thing is they're going back to the 25-19 spot and holding down the line of fire in case Krunkage want to push in aggressively. And we know Krunkage. They're going to play it pretty aggressively, and they're getting punished for it heavily in the process. One by one they go, and they're getting traded out at best. Otherwise, no, it's just double kills against them.
And I love this pace of the game. It's getting a lot more scrappy, and what you're seeing coming out from the side of Krunkage as well is that they're doing those high-low setups again, right? Sending one of your players into the midst of the fray with that machine gun in hand and having someone in the back with the laser rifle, and that is SCage from the distance, finding the 10th, or rather finding the 8th for Krunkage as Telos take the lead 4 kills higher.
Lexi had that double kill. Things got pretty quiet, seemingly out of nowhere. The smoke grenades go through, and again, you can't see anyone on the other side. There could be mines, there could be people inside. It's unknown to SCage, but they don't really care either. Up in the sky, though, Clay Pigeon shoots them down. KQ falls, and there's still a bit of a deficit, though, for Krunkage. A short-term victory, sure, but they need to tie it up, and they're a kill short of doing that.
Yeah, great smoke nade through the teleporter, going to be causing commotion. Commotion is what you want so you can start getting information on the other side. And if you've got the shot to line it up, Naramino might just find 3 in a row off the back of that commotion, and Krunkage get propelled into the lead.
They propel into the lead, but they have a 3 start now. If they can hold on to this, it's going to be a little bit difficult for the defensive-oriented Export to find any sort of impact away from their usual spot. Krunkage now has that advantage. They can move away. They can set the lay of the land wherever they want, because Export Telos have to push into them, and blasting everywhere. M2 gets reckless, but look at this on the other side. They're attempting to fire so many pop shots across the entire map, but none of it's really working out.
None of it's really working out. Krunkage just doing such a good job of nailing them from afar. Now SCage closing the gap, blinks out to safety. He wants to land one of these shots, but of course SCage, we've seen him succeed most at a distance, right? You've got the laser rifle, that thing beams literally across the map. So if he can get in a good spot, Krunkage can continue to turn things up. But Telos, if they take advantage of how poorly positioned Krunkage are right now, and it looks like that's what they're going to try to do, then they can come out on top and take a lead as SCage, though, shuts it down from across the map.
And Naramino, just like others we've mentioned before, likes to take more of that marksman role at a distance, find those headshots far away, and very hard they find the shots back. At 18-24, there may need to be a change here for Export Telos. Lexi, though, another to fall. It's going to be a long-range fight once again. SCage and Naramino finding a lot of benefits in these long-range plays right now, but Lexi pushes in again. The anger overwhelming them, it seems. They're good for 1. Could they find 2? And they most certainly do, team-wise, that is. But back and forth again. Another Nords. The teleporter doesn't quite find the way in. It's going to be 27-22. And it quiets down once again.
Yeah, value is what we want to talk about here, because you saw S-Gage, even though he knows he's about to get clapped, he's at 1 HP, he still takes that laser gun shot and connects for a frag. And that is ultimately, those moments are going to be what defines the victor here. Crunkage, they're min-maxing everything. Even if they're at the lowest HP, they're going to try to get some damage down, get the calm out, and get some frags down, because they know that the respawn timers are so low. If they can keep the momentum up, they can get the advantage back. But Telos, they're cognizant of the same thing, and they've made it a 2-kill game here. KQ doing lots of damage, now needs to close that gap. He knows he did a lot of damage. Can he finish it off as S-Cage finds one, keeps it a 3-point game, and keep Crunkage in the lead?
Still a big deficit for Xborg Telos, though. This is a very spread out game. We haven't seen one of these since yesterday. A lot of the time, these teams in the upper bracket, or I guess upper in the tournament, want to play together a lot more. They have that coordination, that chemistry to make a lot of action happen. This time, though, a lot more individualistic plays, a lot more aggressive push-ups, whether it be nerves, mentality, even emotion coming into play. We do get to see Niramino go through the teleporter, nearly takes Lexi out of the sky. Lexi, though, good for the escape, and we see Xborg going back to their usual spot again. We'll have to see if Crunkage can make this work, though. Across the map, though, Niramino's good for one, and SK continues the lead with another to fall. But look at this again. You push on forwards, and M2 has control, but up above is SK, one of the top dominant fraggers of the entire tournament, against him. And it's just back and forth again with KQ narrowing the gap. They're in their 30s now.
Yeah, this is an important next couple of fights here, because 37-32, this is the catalyst moment. S-Cage, if he goes huge with the sniper, finds 2, and Naramina finds a 3rd, you're ticking up towards 40. It could still go either way, and that's the scariest thing. It's a 7-kill difference, and we are nearing 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock. Crunkage, they need to secure this game now, play super aggressive, and that's exactly what Naramina's doing, tearing it up, finding kills, and M2RK with the 3rd, bringing it to 42-32. It's a 10-kill game. Crunkage are looking strong, man.
Yeah, they are unbelievably strong. Crunkage, their whole plan right now is to disrupt the rotates from Xborg. They want to separate each other from the team, ensure at least 1v1s. We've been saying that a lot of different times, but as long as they keep Xborg running around, taking these opening pop shots, and even just winning raw gunfights like Niramino is, all the more for Crunkage to add up towards 50. They only need 7 more, and with 6 more left in their arsenal, this game soon to possibly end very soon. 5 left now. 15 needed by Xborg. A 10-kill deficit for them to catch up. And again, this could be their final breaths of the tournament. Already a match ahead now from Crunkage. It's up to Xborg Telos to try to find things even to 1-1 to have a chance towards the grand finals, but it may have already been locked out.
Yeah, securing those power-up weapons are so important, and just like that, off the back of 2 great shots from S-Gage, M2RK finds a frag with that machine gun, and now 48-41, 40 seconds left on the clock. Crunkage are just looking for 2 more. Raphael, though, if he has anything to say about it, he's not going to let it go easy. Finding 2 more in a clutch situation. 35 seconds left on the clock. Xborg Telos need 9, Crunkage need 2, and they're taking their way up. 42-48, Telos 43-48, 30 seconds left on the clock. Anything's possible. Oh, no. Keg, it's 44-48. Crunkage just need 1 more. Telos looking for 6 in the span of 20 seconds, and just like that, Crunkage secure the 50th and secure their place in the grand finals.
I got a little scary at the very end there for Crunkage, but they managed to seal the deal. They bring it home 2-0, and you're absolutely right, Jim. They're going to be going on to the grand finals soon. Again, censored. Again, a redemption match potentially, or a revenge match depending on how it goes. We had seen these two go up against each other not too long ago, and to say it was a dominant win would almost be kind of would be an understatement, but censored, it was the closest they had come to losing, but they won it flawlessly regardless.
Yeah, scary. They came to a 1-point game, and for the context here and why we're hyping up censored so much, all of yesterday they played through round of 256 to top 8. The worst loss that they received was 50, their victory, to 11. That's a statement to make. And of course, today, like mentioned, that Crunkage took them all the way 49-50. Now we're going to get a rematch in the grand finals. And of course, the players are getting locked and loaded and ready to rumble, but I'm scared. The pace of this last match, the last 2 matches, was so much slower than what censored plays at. It's blisteringly quick.
Guess we'll have to get our vocal cords and our lungs ready, right, Jim?
Yeah, I am a little frightened, but all the same, all excited as well, because if you guys haven't been enjoying it. You know, it's an arena FPS that's really making a name for itself, combining elements of so many different shooters and putting it into a play-to-earn, free-to-play, browser-based format. It really doesn't get much better than that, Keg.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, too, all these different players, we highlight a lot of them for fragging out so much, finding so many kills, because of how the game is made, being different from other games that you've seen before. Every time someone in this game, or even you if you log in and play yourself, can get some Solana for every kill. That means you can make quite a bit of money playing this game.
Yeah, for real. And of course, we want to shout out Fractal, putting on the Fractal Cup for the very first time, and it's fractal.is if you want to navigate to the website itself. It's a marketplace for gaming NFTs, durable assets that let you do something inside the gaming universe. So Fractal's actual mission is to create an open platform for the free exchange of these digital goods. They do this by partnering with the best of the best in gaming companies, launching NFTs, and building tools that help them reach their customers at scale. Keywords, and of course, Keg, they've got a mint coming out for EV too soon, no?
Oh, I like mints, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting, right? Because it is a free-to-play ability shooter made by one of the most respected games in gaming, it's going to be addicting games that helps out. And so EVIO is also minting its first NFT collection on the Fractal Launchpad on May 11th. That means, yes, again, if the tournament does have to end today with the grand finals after this, that doesn't mean your Fractal or EVIO action has to end now. You still have on the 11th to get some of those mints, right? And then keep playing beyond that. You could rack up that Solana. Let me tell you, I'd be very jealous of you.
I would be jealous as well. And of course, we want to shout out everyone who came to view in the Twitch chat. If you haven't already, make sure you type an exclamation point giveaway to try and get some of those epic and legendary WL whitelist spots. You're going to want those. And of course, if you're looking for a community of gamers and a community of people interested in similar things, hit that exclamation point Discord and get involved today. With all that said, I'm Jambasco, that's Keg, and we will be right back after this short break with the grand finals of the $10,000 EVIO Fractal Cup.
You can stop at 5 or 6
NFT Marketplace.
or just one. I don't need friends. They disappoint me.
Hi, I'm Todd LaRue. You could stop at 5 or 6
NFT Marketplace.
or just one. I feel like a deer in the headlights of love.
You could stop at 5 or 6
NFT Marketplace.
or just one. Can I ask you kind of a weird question?
It's that final moment, the one we've all been waiting for the Fractal Cup to know who the winner of its very first iteration can be. My name is Keg, I'm joined by Jim, and we're gonna see between Censored and Crunkage who can be taking home the lion's share of $10,000 for EVIO's one of their first tournaments ever.
Yeah, it's history in the making. And of course, we've been seeing a blistering level of competition across 2 days with 256 teams, squads of 3 competing from all around the globe. Like you said, $10,000. It's mind-boggling, to say the least. The amount of things, the amount of times that our minds have been blown on stream once again blows my mind, and I'm ready to have it blown again, right? Crunkage taking Censored for the first time to a 1-kill game. Censored have had no problem running through the bracket till then, and now we get the opportunity, the chance of a lifetime to see them back in the grand finals to run it back. Let us know your thoughts in the Twitch chat. Who's going to be taking the victory here? Will it be Crunkage, or will it be Censored defending what seems to be their title at this point? They look dominant, man.
They do. You know what? Let's play in the game too. I think Censored is probably going to take it, right? Because I think they've just been having some of the best aim prowess we've seen in the entirety of this tournament. But for Crunkage, I do like their adaptability. I think they've been able to play slow, they've been able to play very, very extensively aggressive, and they found impact doing both. But Censored, again, if you have the superior mechanical skill, that might be a sealed deal right there, Jim.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, because the one thing that blew our mind most about Censored was the pace of the game. And so the last two have been a little bit more slow, a little bit more tactical, but you're also seeing the gun skins on the side of Censored. And these are things that you can also equip to your character and start earning with your NFT skins. So if you want to find out more, head on over to ev.io and fractal.is, hit the exclamation point Discord in the chat and get informed today. But just like that, we're talking about pace, 30 seconds in Censored at 6-2.
Pretty par of the course of what we were expecting to see for the grand final. Censored, they've been going for the same strategy every single game we've covered of them today, and they don't seem to be letting go of the brakes at all. Though that being said, though, there's not much defensive positionings, of course, from Censored. That doesn't mean Crunkage is holding in that same spot. We saw Xborg Telos doing the same. It's loose, it's spread out, it's much more 1v1 centric again between the gunfights. There's not a lot of team-wide coordinated plays, at least yet. And Censored, they can take advantage of that, Jim. They can get a 6-kill lead over Crunkage because they're able to play in that looser style and disrupt Crunkage's teamwork, their coordination.
So good from the side of Crunkage. They know, I mean, from the side of Censored, rather, they know Crunkage want to play that opposite side of the map. So what do? They set up smokes and they hunker down on the other side. So instead of forcing Crunkage, or rather playing Crunkage's game and going where they have the clear disadvantage and not having the high ground, they're like, why don't we just set up with the lead over here? You're gonna have to come to us and we're gonna win these fights. Censored, what great tactical gameplay there. And if they can match it with their mechanical skill, which we're seeing time and time again, Censored 15-9, they are looking good.
Oh, they're always looking good, but again, I like what Crunkage is doing too. They're trying to play that same style as Censored, but they're doing it in their own way. More smoke grenades going down, they have disrupted line of sights, and Nizit especially too. Remember that marksman role, taking down Naramino, a lot of utility coming into play, and Nizin, a fantastic job of getting that double kill as well. Shuts down Eska, who we said was one of the best fraggers of the entire tournament.
Nizin once again, good for 2. The teamwork right there. We've been seeing Crunk use this Deagle to huge effectiveness. And of course, you've got Xeno running it down to get in their face. And of course, Nizin from the back line with the laser cannon. And of course, SK just trying to use it 2, finds 2 in a row. And Naramino finds a 3rd there. But just like that, Censored, in the midst of all of that commotion, find a 10-kill lead. Now with 5 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock, let's see how Censored play this out. Tracking in midair, great couple of shots. 24-16 though. M2RK closing the distance. Trying to find the last one there. Nizin though, just good for 2 in this corner. M2RK inevitably cleans him up, but Censored maintaining a 10-kill lead.
10-kill difference now, true one, 29-19. A little bit of a slower pace than we had seen at the beginning of the game. Now they're reaching around the halfway point of the first match of the best of 5. Censored, still up by 10, haven't let go of the driver's seat just yet. That being said, though, down below, Crunkage are trying to find that aerial advantage below the players on the ground, but they're not able to convert those into kills just yet. Now with 4.5 minutes left on the clock, 32-22, still in the lead. There's not a lot that's been really happening, though. Crunkage, it's their time to make a move, but they're holding on tight and waiting to see what happens next. But the long-range fights are working out way too well for Censored side, and Crunkage, they're suffering in the process. Though there is too good for M2 and SK, they do get shut down. It's nearly a squad break from Censored side. Crunkage, though, they need to find some impact now, but they've unable to do so. But they are spreading themselves thin, making it more difficult for Censored to go through and find the kills, and makes the likelihood of that gap closing much greater.
Yeah, 7 kills separating them both. And, you know, I really liked what Censored were doing with Nizin in that he knew he wasn't going to win that close range fight. He pops the smoke and is just out of there immediately. Regroups with the team and is able to come back on top of that fight. 6 kills. That gap is closing slowly but surely. But just as I say that, of course, Censored do have a response for it. And Crunk just going for these wild shots. And, of course, being aided by his teammate in Xeno is going to find value for it. Naramino finds one onto Xeno and gets back out. And, of course, SK, great nade, great mine, and that's gonna find 2. 5 kills separate these 2 Titans.
Yeah, that gap is already closed by half so far. Crunkage's strategy seems to be winning so far. They're able to allow Censored to push into their domain, wherever that may be. It's not the usual spot we've been seeing for the majority of the tournament, defensively holding that southern corner of the map. Oh no. Instead now Censored on the cusp of maybe even getting 40 here. They would only need 10 more to bring themselves one step closer to the lion's share of $10,000. But as that timer now goes down below 3 minutes, that gap, even we talked about the kills, it is getting farther once again, but Censored too, they're playing with that timer. Crunkage, they need to battle the timer though. It's not their friend. They have to get the 44 immediately, but there's only potentially 6 left.
Yeah, it's beautiful, honestly, to watch, especially Nizen, once he gets that laser gun, which does so much damage from anywhere on the map, and it's a hit-scan weapon, so all you gotta do is aim. He just needs to stay alive, and he knows that if he can do some damage, Xeno will be in the right spot to follow it up, and of course, Crunk will be there to help as well, if not by just being a distraction, flying through the air for Xeno and Nizen to pick them apart. Now, one more kill here as Censored get that much closer to securing this first map in the BO3.
One potential kill left from Censored to bring things home. Crunkage, if they can find a miracle right now, they could get 7 in a row, make it 6, and they could steal away this first round from Censored. All it takes is a single kill, but there we are. Nizen, the marksman master, the mastermind of the long-range fights, does take it to 50, and that's game 1 for the grand finals of a best of 5 against Crunkage.
Beautifully done from Censored. You know, we were interested to see, right? That slow pace of match being played on the southern end of the map has been the meta for the past 2 or 3 rounds of gameplay that we've gotten. But Crunkage this time, Censored this time around, they were like, we already know you were going to try that. What are you doing? And they set up on the other side of the map and they're like, hey, come over here instead. It works out for them. And like you said, Keg, they even play the timer so well. They know the pressure is on Crunkage to try and make a play. They are comfortable being in the lead.
And it's really tough too. I know it sounds like I might be a little hard on Crunkage, but what they're able to do is they have those mechanical skills. What they master in is mobility. And with Censored shutting down a lot of that mobility, especially in the early game, it does get really difficult. And while I would say Censored, their best thing they have going for themselves is their mechanical skill, if Crunkage can just keep going aggressive and find that aerial coverage to, say, go behind the enemy again for another squad fight, I could definitely see this going 1-1.
Absolutely, anything is possible, and it was a 7 kills, 6 kill game by the end of it. So that fortitude we talk about, just maintaining like, hey, we're not out of it yet. It's a best of 5 in the grand finals. Actually, there's a lot more to go. If they can get map 2 and 3, that's a 2-1. They're looking for a 3-1. Anything is really possible. You can't get dismayed off this first score. So close as it was, they've still got a long way to go. And of course, I'm ready to see what else they pull out. What other tricks they pull out of their sleeve, because I loved seeing Nizen just sticking to that laser gun and playing so well off the back of Crunk and Xeno. So if they can keep that real momentum up and keep it top heavy, maybe we're going to see a quick 3-0, maybe not. Who knows, Keg?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to this next matchup to see whether or not we go for a 3-0 or not. This is the one opportunity I would say Crunkage has to bring things to a 1-1, or maybe even try to disrupt things later on to have a 2-1 against them. But Censored, again, they've been able to hold on to these advantages for so long. If Crunkage, though, can find this next round, they could be good to at least find themselves maybe into that map 5 or map 4 against themselves, right? But again, it comes down to that mobility. It comes down to disrupting whatever Censored have planned. As long as they can use the mid side of the map more, play around with the smoke grenades like we had seen in the mid game last time around, this could still go 1-1.
Really, anything is possible. And of course, if you guys want to get more involved, head on over to ev.io. It's free to play to earn FPS, browser-based shooter. There's a lot of keywords there, but keywords are keywords for a reason. They're important. And of course, hit that exclamation point Discord in the Twitch chat to get connected with a group of friends and start gaming. But with that said, we do have the second round of our grand finals between Crunkage and Censored, with Censored currently in the lead, but not by much, winning that first game 50-44. 8 minutes back on the clock. Let's see how this one plays out.
And remember, when we had seen them in much earlier on in the upper bracket finals, we had seen a game go 50-49, with Censored taking that 50 mark and Crunkage only going down by a single kill. It's not impossible to think that Crunkage could even it up here. I certainly don't think so at all. But again, they have this early advantage. They have to keep this advantage, Jim, for the entire game.
See if they can do it. Crunkage, the pace really does vary so much. You know, they keep it speedy, they keep it slow and tactical. They've got the ability to flip between them, and Crunk now mid-air. Great shots supplemented with Nizen. It's a tied game just like that. And we talk about keeping the lead. It's hard when these guys are flying through the air at you at Mach 2. What can you do with a Deagle in hand? It's 7-7. Censored. They want to end this one, and they want to end it quick. The pace is awesome here.
8-8 though. It's nobody's game to win just yet. Crunkage do take the lead, though, and again, this is a really positive sign. There are a lot of trades, though, and especially holding that small corner. It's not the 25-19 corner. This one has a teleporter from behind. Crunk, though, is surrounded in a 2v1. He's soon to fall, and M2 really good to find the double kill and a full squad wipe against Censored.
Just like that, flipping the momentum on its head. If you can get that team wipe, you can get good. Oh, that is unlucky. Decides to go for the suicide there instead of waiting for the regen on the health. S-Cage goes down, Censored in a bit of a good spot here as Naramina closes the gap. Crunk finds 3 great shots at close range there. That's that marksmanship really paying off. Crunkage, though, returns with the mind kill. 14-11. Smoke's going down, keeping it tactical, keeping it quick. Oof. These mines, man, have just been brutal for these guys.
I think that's another big advantage that Crunkage have had over other teams, is that they're playing around their utility more than any other team we have seen in this tournament. They're finding mine kills, grenade kills, any kind of kills that you're looking for, but mostly with just utilities. That being said, though, Censored, the entire board goes in their favor. Reckless coming through from Censored, though, won't stop things for too much longer. Though it only evens up once again 17-17. Crunkage have found their adaptability. They've downloaded the style that Censored likes to play, and they're keeping this still a little bit afloat for them. But that being said, though, Jim, this might get a little hairy. 20-17 with 5.5 minutes left on the clock. If it keeps going at this pace, we might be looking at... Oh, okay. Okay, Eska, very nice.
Yeah,
we could be looking at a tied game again.
Yeah, it's very possible. SK's great sequence there with the hand cannon, with the deagle, and now with the sniper. I am scared of this guy, man. He can hit these shots no matter where he is, and with the help of his teammates in Naramino and Co., they might just put a round on the map. 23-17, that gap is getting opened up. 6 kills separating these two squads.
24-18 now. Big lead from Crunkage here. Still plenty of time left. Things have really accelerated, I suppose, for a while. That being said, though, look at this again. Individual plays coming through. Xeno's trying to find a lot of impact early on here, but as it keeps trading on through, the gap for Crunkage only stays above, but doesn't get any wider. As gets soon to fall in the hands of Crunk, though, after taking down Xenocidal, it's just back and forth again. If this keeps going, Jim, Censored, they'll be able to find some fragability, but they won't be able to take the lead back. That means Crunkage, they're always around each other for that tradability. They're allowing Censored to push into themselves.
Yeah, it's really scary, honestly. Censored closing that gap to just 4 now, but Crunkage playing so well around the map's geometry. 4 kills still, it's even across the board. S-Cage so good with that deagle, man. Even at range now, waiting for his HP to regen, and of course is gonna go for the suicide there to not give up a point. 32-27, and it's not an awful move. Picks up the sniper as well, so plays off that spawn. Phenomenal from S-Cage. Now with the resources on their side, can he land the shot? No, he's gonna miss. Uncharacteristic for him, but looks across the map as Crunk finds one, connects on one mid-air and try it. Wow.
Wow. Oh, okay. Very, very nice.
Yeah, Crunk somehow comes out on top in that exchange. I don't know how he does that one.
I told you, our little older zoomer brains can't handle all the plays happening right here. Though we do talk about that, though. Censored are closing that gap once again. The 3-kill differential, 3 minutes left on the clock. And Crunkage, as long as they can keep finding these trades, that is their solution to their problem. I had said this would be the one game out of all of them in the best of 5 where Crunkage needs to win in order to have a chance to win that 10,000. But now could be the chance for that to come into fruition. They need 12 more to bring things to a 1-1 scoreline. And Censored, they're having a difficult time trying to find a way to get a squad wipe. They're unable to do so. But as I say that, Crunkage again takes down yet another. And they're just running around. They're plugging it out. One inside mid, playing directly. That's another to fall. Crunk was good for 2, but he was traded out. And now on 40, his Censored now can stop it at the 40 mark and tie it up there. It'll be a battle for the 10.
This is a real possibility. You've got Nizen on the laser rifle. You've got Crunk balling out with the deagle in hand. Nizen resetting real quick, so he's going to lose that laser rifle. S-Cage finds a good mine kill there, and they're regaining control of the resource here. Maybe they can pick up a sniper, get it to S-Cage, and let's see if they can actually keep it up here. And of course, Nizen... Oh, great. Is Xenocidal finding 2 off the back of that damage. Crunk finds a 3rd, and just like that, Censored into the lead.
It's even now. 41, okay, maybe not even anymore. I can count a little bit. 41-42. if Krunkage can find this next kill, they tie it up once again. But Censored, this is their first time since the opening 10 digits that they've been able to take the lead. Now the pacing has slowed back down to a snail crawl like we had seen in game number 1. Though we do get to see the push up from Niramino, the marksman, now marking way up close, gets traded out, but he's good for at least one. And the trades keep going, 44 to 44, Jim. It's anybody's game. Eska's good for 2, but as long as he can stay alive, Niramino goes for the aerial plays, but he's able to find some impact. Now going up above, back at around 45 to 45, it's still anybody's game. Krunk, though, on the other side, he's not good for 1, but Xenocidal, his teammate, most certainly is. As long as those abilities, the utility, can keep that lead, Krunkage, that might be their golden factor to make things 1-1. But it's down to the final moments, Jim. A minute left.
SK's really good job, resets at the very last second to not give over that kill. He knew he was low on HP, and Krunkage taking a 2-kill lead here. Naramino finds a second with a minute left on the clock. Krunk closing it to a 1-kill game. Krunkage are looking for 1 more. And just like that, in the last second of the match, they find it. 50 to 48. Krunkage are going to a map 3, man.
Krunkage had played a lot towards mid. They played aggressive, and they found that lead and very rarely lost it from the beginning of the game. Those were all the things we wanted to see from Krunkage in the second game, and they pulled it off in spades. Was it close? Oh, absolutely. But this is also the one time we've seen Censored lose a match this tournament. That means now they're no longer invincible. Those dents in the armor that have been made from so many more teams before Krunkage has finally had its first crack. This might mean now we could see a much more competitive grand finals.
Yeah, you know, for a long time, Censored were fighting back from a deficit and eventually found the lead, but not for long. Krunkage came back with fire and fury and took it back at the very last second. Yeah, they're handing them their first loss all weekend long. For it to be in grand finals, you've got to be a star-studded team, but like you mentioned, their armor has cracks in it. It's beginning to crumble. Can they continue this sort of domination into the third map? Can we go all the way in this best-of-5 series? I'm not sure anymore where this series is going to go, but I know Censored have their work cut out for them moving forward.
We're getting closer and closer to being guaranteed all 5 matchups here for the grand finals. Again, a lion's share of $10,000 being distributed, of course, for the majority for that first place slot, but I think it's comfortable to say, regardless of what our predictions were, what your predictions were in chat, it could be anybody's game, and I think that's what makes it the most exciting part for the Fractal Cup.
Yeah, I think that is, and of course we want to see your support for the teams that you think are going to win. So if you think Krunkage has got it, spam it in the chat. If you think Censored has got it, spam it in the chat. I'm sure they're watching as well and could use your support. And for anybody that wants to get involved in the TDM action, head on over to ev.io. It's free to play, it's browser-based, it's play to earn, and it's got so much diversity in weapons, maps, game modes, and it's got the gunplay that you would want. So head on over to ev.io. Plus, they're doing a mint on May 11th for their first NFT collection on the Fractal Launchpad. If you want to learn more about that, fractal.is/EV. Lots of good stuff.
We're living in the future, man. Isn't that crazy? We were little kids, what, 10,000 years ago? We were never expecting anything like this, but here we are in the future, and it's super cool.
It is cool indeed, and of course, I'm glad that we've got this sort of arena FPS action ready for you all, because it's been nuts. And with that said, we're going to head into Game 3 of this best-of-5 Grand Finals in the Fractal Cup EVIO $10,000 tournament, man.
We had seen those big added advantages from Krunkage, being able to adapt around Censored and play directly what they needed to do to ensure that tradability was always there. That Censored, though, different story than we had seen in the beginning of the last game. They take a dominant lead over Krunkage, and while they're close to evening that gap once again, Censored, though, they have to play that equally loose playstyle. They have to show why they can be mechanically better, and Xenocidal's almost proving that immediately with Krunkage's side, though. He was able to go through those tiny cracks in the beginning or at the top of the stage. It looks like that won't be providing much benefit anymore. Though it's only a 1-kill difference between the two, Krunkage needs to find that lead immediately because Censored, they were having a difficult time on that back foot.
Yeah, good moves from Nizen to just get out of danger, regen on the HP, and he's just going to get naded out. SK just so aware. He always knows where they are. His spatial awareness is out of this world, and now with a sniper in his hand, I am scared of this kid. 6-5, Krunk. Ooh, Nizen! Ooh, from the back. Yeah, that was gross.
Oh, and he's good for a third, too. Great job, Nizin. Taking down the entirety of the squad while Crunkage falls, but they're respawning very soon. That being said, though, this is the prime time for Sensor to really take this to a 2-1. If they can play around the respawns of Crunkage and make sure they can never find proper footing, they have to stay behind. They have to be confused and uncoordinated for the majority of the time. But again, we're seeing that bread and butter play from Crunkage. Trades on trades on trades. They're mechanical, just as good as Censored now. They've warmed up. They've had a lot of time to reflect and review. And now is their chance to try to bring this back, but they're behind by 5, 6, 7?
That is wild. Nizin takes the shot, gets closer to the enemy to provide a distraction. Xenocidal finishes them off, and of course Crunk in the back line. Just so accurate, time and time again. 16 to 10, like you mentioned, they are opening up that gap. 18 to 10, Xeno, Nizin, these guys are unstoppable, and this combo of weapons off the bat that they've got is so good for them.
Now, there's no tactical timeouts in EVIO. There's no chance to go for a reset, just kind of take a breather. You don't really see that in arena shooters like this that often, but it's kind of something that Crunkage needs right now. They need to reset themselves, kind of get their pages on the same book, because Nizin, I don't even know what that icon is. He hourglassed Father Time, came through the bullet, and took down another one. We were just told it was a trip mine. Father Time, trip, all the same. But regardless,
it's all the same. But these shots from Nizin,
such a good lead.
Yeah, and this is a gun you spawn with, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're accurate, if you can hit your shots, and you've got teammates that you trust to finish off those kills, you will be big chillin'. Nizin in the back line, when his dynamic duo of Xeno and Crunk up in the front. Oh my god, this guy's a turret. They're literally just, yeah, flying into his eyes.
But that's why the smoke grenades are in this game, though. And we had seen that between Crunkage and NFT screenshotters. They were able to hunker themselves down. They used smoke grenades to deny these lines of sight for the marksmen, just like Nizin, who isn't able to shoot any out of the sky. Crunk is there for the ground forces to take 2 out instead. But again, no smoke grenades. We had seen so much utility come out from Crunkage, and they had that lead last game. Where's the utility?
Yeah, and we want to just inform you all, everyone watching, that this is a best of 5. It's 1-1. Sensor taking the lead at 33 to 15. This is the largest lead we've seen in the grand finals thus far. And for anyone wondering, first place for this tournament gets $3,100. That's a huge prize pool out of that 10K in Seoul. So of course, everyone, lots on the line here, and tensions are high as SK finds 2, wants a third, but Crunk is just the better marksman, man. It's high noon, and he comes out on top.
15 score differential, though. Yuramino's good for 2. Crunkage, again, there's a distinct lack of utility this time, but it's not their fault. Smoke grenades do go down, but there's less opportunities to find plays from utility, because everyone's just everywhere, and especially up in the sky. But it's good for someone like M2, who, for the most part, is usually good to find one. He does find Crunk, he's good for the double kill. But that being said, though, he does surround at least yet another. Nizin soon to fall. Oh, never mind. Nizin's able to get away. That's huge.
Yeah, Nizin just time and time again makes himself such a good distraction, and he's someone you have to deal with, because if you don't kill him or try to chase him down, he's just gonna rip you apart from afar, and then have Xenocidal, like we're seeing, come in, blow your face up, and leave again. So Nizin is a issue. He's a problem. He's a rat, and these smokes are providing so much cover for him to get out in and out of danger. You'll love to see it, and of course, Censored now expanding that lead, 42 to 26 with 3 minutes left on the clock.
This is looking more and more difficult for Crunkage to make their comeback here in this game 3. 42 to 28, like you said, Jim. It's looking very good in Censored's favor once more. Their strategy hasn't really changed between the last 3 maps. They're definitely playing away from Crunkage, avoiding utility, playing to their strengths, which I think everyone can agree has been these long-range fights. And instances like that, though, tends to prove me wrong. Crunk good for one, Xenocidal good for another themselves. But up close and personal, too, Yuramino's going to prove me wrong yet again. Back and forth between everybody. I love the style play that Crunkage want to go for, but Censored again. Those long-range fights, keep an eye on it there. 45 to 31. It's coming close to an end.
And the way they triangulate and hunt the enemy team like a pack of piranhas is frightening, because you've got Xenocidal always on the flank with this machine gun, and so he's going to tear you up. And if Xenocidal's on the flank, that means Crunk and Nizin have been tearing your life bar up from afar. So it is maniacal, it is diabolical, and Censored are 1 kill away from heading into game 4 here with a 2-1 lead.
Down to this, though. Everything's gone to a grinding halt. The pump shots come by, and it's an easy 50. Censored, though, taking it now 2-1 over Crunkage. But again, it is not the end of the tournament. No, it's a best of 5, not a best of 3. So there's potential to have at least 1 or 2 more games, depending if Crunkage can tie it up 2-2 over Censored, who's had a dominant lead this entire tournament.
Yeah, especially in that specific round, we saw Xenocidal lead the way, which is not... I don't want to say it's uncharacteristic of him, but when you've got fraggers like Nizen and Crunk on your team who usually high kills, low deaths because they're playing that huge range, usually come out on top. And it looks like this time, it looks like Crunkage tried to deal with Nizen. They got his deaths up, right? And they were dealing with him. But if you leave to deal with one head of the Hydra, another one pops up, right? And of course, Xenocidal happy to take his place on the leaderboard at the very top, cementing his place in history. 2-1 so far, like you mentioned. It's a BO5, so they're just 1 win away from securing their lion's share of $10,000 freaking dollars.
I love the idea in Game 2 of Crunkage playing around with their utility, playing loose, but Censored realized again, they have a huge advantage when it comes to the long-range play. Unlike a lot of teams here, Censored have distinct roles for each of their players, and one of them is Nizen, who's the dedicated marksman, and marksman did we see. That doesn't stop Crunkage, though, from finding a lot of those long-range plays themselves, but if they can play around and play more aggressive and really target Nizen, especially in this next game, this could be an even 2-2.
It really could, and when we're talking about storylines, right, this is the storyline you want. Crunkage originally defeated by Censored, taking them to 1 kill game earlier on in the bracket, now finally taking an entire game off of them. The one that they've lost, the one that Censored have lost all weekend long, have been because of Crunkage. Now 2-1 in a deficit. Crunkage, they have it in them to beat these guys. Can they do it again? And then once more after they go 2-2 to finally take the victory? Not sure, Keg. There's a lot on the line. And of course, with the tensions rising, your nerves also rise and things start to get sloppy. So heading into the 4th match of this BO5, what are your predictions, dude?
I don't know if I can give you a prediction this time, Jim. I mean, we had predicted that Crunkage would probably take the second game, but yeah, I mean, the mentality factor, it's impossible to know what's going inside the players' brains, but the mentality, that was the worst game we've seen Crunkage play since their very first match, again, earlier on in the tournament against Censored. This was not a great performance from them, but it was still better historically than most other teams have played against Censored. If they can just take this time to go for a bit of a mental reset, get their coordination in line, again, that might be the opening key that they need to bring this to an even 2-2, but otherwise, if Censored keep just going the ship forwards, well, then they're probably good for that 3-1.
I'm excited, and of course, we know you guys are all excited in the Twitch chat as well. So if you want to get involved, ev.io, free to play, play to earn, FPS, browser-based, all the keywords that you could ever imagine in one sentence. And of course, you can earn money for playing the game, right? So if you're good at the game, if you're someone like Nizen, if you're someone like Crunk, and you are just ridiculously cracked, then get at it. This is one of the first tournaments for ev.io. So if you're here, you're early, ladies and gents. Get in on the action. Lots of good stuff happening.
Absolutely, and if you don't know about EV.io, well, now's the time to learn. So EV.io, it's a browser-based play-to-earn first-person shooter featuring 15 different maps, 20 different weapons, and 5 game modes, and of course, that really tight gameplay we just saw. What makes it unique is that every time a player makes a kill, they do receive some Solana, real Solana that they can use and spend stuff on. So you can head over to EV.io to play as soon as the tournament's over, or do both at the same time. But speaking of those Solanas that could be earned, Niramino already looking good at the beginning to earn some. They take down Xenocidal, and this is an early lead, albeit by 1 kill for Crunkage.
Albeit by 1 kill, but it might just be the beginning of the end for either of these teams. Censored, 1 victory away from securing a huge share of $10,000. Crunkage, they need to win this one if they want to try and take this to a game 5 and want that first place prize in our inaugural EV.io tournament here. So lots riding on the line. Censored, though, opening things up 5-2. Can they keep this lead?
That's a very good question here, and it's the early game that I think spells out the most for either of these teams. And with Crunkage only finding 2 now and Censored almost on their way to 10, I'm a little nervous.
I'm a little nervous too, and we've seen comebacks happen with bigger numbers, but starting so quickly in the first minute with a 6-kill deficit is not a great look. M2RK, of course, now, Naramino, great shots there as well, 5-9. If they can keep up the momentum, maybe they can close this gap, but we talk about mentality. You've got to get the 50 kills or the end of 8 minutes, Don't let this first minute, these first couple of frags mess you up. Let's just keep the game momentum high and keep it rolling because it's anybody's game. But just as I say that, though, Crunk displaying aerial superiority, finding 2 quick ones midair.
Now, keep an eye on 2 things, chat. We have to watch 2 different things in this matchup. We need to see how Crunkage uses their utility to find kills, and we also need to see how they play around the mid side of the map. Now, the big issue is right now is that Censored, they're really good at their long-range play. Nizen, of course, good for 1, make that 2 again. Perfect example of that long range, but Crunkage, if they can just play into that aggression of Censored, or even take down Nizen in the process, that'll force so much advantageousness to their own side, but again, that's easier said than done. Crunkage, though, double kill for the team. Nizen, though, gets a trade instead. It's a back and forth once more, and in that usual spot that we've seen defensively so many times is now a disadvantage.
Yeah, util is the name of the game that we were talking about. Censored using it so well. Tripwires denying so much of this portal area, right? As soon as you take the portal, you can take this one long line of sight fight, or you go over to the right side, which you will be graced by the electric mines that have been placed down to deny that entire spot. Now we're seeing the fight head on back towards that south end of the map where this resource spawn point was. And of course, these 2 areas are going to be important to control. But of course, SK's a great couple of shots there, but Nizen just returns, letting them know, hey, I can hit those 2.
This is an actual war between 2 very core, tactically advantageous spots, but from behind, Eska is trying to find a double kill from behind. He's good for 1, playing a little cowboy action there, taking down 1 in the process, but this other kill might be a little, well, maybe not so much difficult. Eska is good for 2, M2 good for 2 as well, and even if it's a 10-point deficit, Crunkage are trying to find that engine to keep the whole caboose going at this point, but they're struggling to do so right now. And we mentioned the tripwires from before. That's a big struggle, denying all the mid side of the map. It's only leaving Crunkage to play with these core defensive areas, and let me tell you, that is not going to work well environmentally for Crunkage in their positioning.
You love to see it too. Xenocidal always in a good spot, playing pretty much consistently across the map from Nizen. Nizen relays the information, and Xenocidal and co just come up into their back and ruin their lives, because if they want to try to run away from Xeno, they're gonna run into Nizen and that laser rifle, which we've seen be devastating time and time again. Now Censored 36-21, 37-21, as Nizen finds another with that laser rifle, and of course will self-destruct to prevent any more points going to the side of Crunkage.
Nizen has been the true MVP of these last 2 games. That long-range play, I know, we've been hammering home to death, but that is stopping Crunkage completely in their tracks. They're unable to maneuver themselves around, and even when Nizen does fall, guess who's on the other side? It's the rest of Censored to come through and clean up the rest of the job. Now, with that being said, though, we're at the 41. This could be the very end.
Yeah, you love to see it, man.
Very, very end here. Censored, 43-27. Looking to find those final impacts. I don't even know how Crunk is in the air for that long. He has an air balloon or something on his back. But look at this. It keeps going through. 5 potentially left. The mid side of the game. Eska in their favor. Takes down Nizen. This could be the chance. Crunkage before the respawn at least find a few more. But with 4 left, it's looking less and less likely. 3 minutes left on the clock. M2's good for a double kill, but is that going to be what it takes to bring it home? Nizen's good for a double himself. And it's at the end here, 48-33. We could very well soon have our new champions for the Fractal Cup, 49-34. All they need is 1 more kill to solidify the lion's share of $10,000. It's Censored who bring it home.
Beautifully done from the side of Censored. You can see that kill spread across the map, 18, 17, and 15. That is even across the board, and we've seen these guys just completely hunt down Crunkage like a pack of piranhas, a pack of hungry sharks that smell blood in the water, and that blood is $10,000, and that share, Keg, I can't believe it, man. Congrats to them for being the first ever victors of the Fractal Cup in EVIO.
I mean, hopefully the first of many. This has been fantastic to see, and Censored, a great job through and through. But of course, we have to give some credit to Crunch too, right? They played so great through the grand finals, and that was their attempted redemption match too, right?
Yeah.
There's a history and a rivalry, I think, developing between these two teams for future tournaments.
Yeah, it's going to be great to watch. And of course, for everybody that tuned in today, shout out to you. You guys are the real MVP. If you want to learn more, ev.io, fractal.is, and of course, just get involved. Exclamation point Discord in the Twitch chat. Get involved, make a friend, play some games, play to earn. It's all the good stuff, Keg.
Absolutely, and while that might be the end of the tournament, it might be the end of us casting too. I'm happy to say the fun's not over yet. Right after this broadcast ends, head over to ev.io/CG to play Team Deathmatch yourself. That's ev.io/CG. Here you can earn epic and legendary whitelist tokens for the mint coming up this Wednesday and May 11th. And again, thank you so much for coming by, everybody. The teams were amazing. Jim, our first time working together, you have been amazing as well. We gotta thank our producer Rose as well for doing an amazing job keeping us all entertained between the games.
All good stuff, of course. Great 2 days of competition. Globally, we've got 256 teams of 3. That is mind-boggling. And if anyone's asking about the future of play-to-earn games, this is it right here, Keg. So, you know, a great weekend. It was an honor to work with you, honor to work with Rose, and thank you guys so much for showing up in the Twitch chat. Keg, any final words before we head out?
Oh man, I just can't wait for the next Fractal Cup. I think I'll have to join everybody by going and playing some TDM right after this. I have the itch now. I have the itch.
Got the itch. The arena FPS bug is back, baby, and it's back in full swing. So once again, shout out to everyone involved. Thank you so much. It's been a blast, and we will see you all next time.
I think there's a profound and enduring beauty in simplicity, in clarity. When we think of the Fractal F, it's so much more than just a pink F. It's a remarkable visual design achievement. I think it truly represents a complete revolution in the way a company's story can be encapsulated in such a small but impactful way. Every detail was specifically engineered to bring the vision of Fractal to life. Everything from the shade of pink to the boldness of the lettering took us months of laborious work. We worked intensely with some of the most talented visual design minds from all over the world in order to even have a chance to pull off this ambitious feat. The result is something with a degree of elegance, beauty, and robustness that even we never dreamed of. One of the things we're most proud of here at Fractal is our immaculate attention to detail, no matter how subtle. For example, you may not have noticed that the F in the logo actually stands for Fractal. And I think that's just one of the many absolutely brilliant little details that often goes underappreciated. But we don't do things for clout. We do things because they matter. Despite everyone telling us it couldn't be done, we persevered and managed to pull it off. Fractal is all about letting quality speak for itself and pushing beyond the limits of what we thought was possible. What we achieved here, I don't think anyone has really done before. This is what Web3 is all about, and we're leading the charge. Okay. Pretty good?
Yes, you really deadpan the good ones that matter.
All right.